Hi, my name is Kafui Dey, and my guest is Okyeame Kwame. Kwame,
Yes, sir.
always good to talk to you.
Yes.
Let's get comfortable and throw it all the way back to your earliest memory. What do you recollect? Your earliest memory in life?
In life,
Yes.
I recollect around maybe 5 years old or 4. We used to live at Ashtown and in Kumasi. And then my mother was a teacher. So every time that my mother would come back from school, and when she was leaving to the market to go and buy food stuff, I would run after the trotro that she would get in and be screaming, "Mama, hey!"
You thought she was going forever?
I know, I don't know. So that is the memory that I have that always plays in my head. So they used to call me Mama Ba, because I was very...
Mommy's child.
Yes, I was very soft. And apart from that, I recall living with my mother, had 3 kids in quick succession. And my senior brother was maybe less than 2 years older than me. So
Were you the middle one?
yes,
Okay.
I was at that time, I was the middle.
Okay.
So she lived with my father in Peki. My father was working in Peki, and they left me with my grandmother in that house. So I remember that whenever I come home from school, my grandmother, she was unlettered, smart woman, but she wasn't educated. So she would stand in front of the house, of the compound house, and scream, "Homework, yo, homework." And
What was that supposed to be?
it's that I have brought homework. She can't do it. So she said, "Homework, yo, homework."
So who would help you with the homework?
Exactly. So some of the older
Would
men
come.
in the house will come and assist me.
Okay, based on the alarm that was raised.
Exactly. And I remember that she used to sell in Remunam. She used to sell bushmeat.
Okay.
And in Kumasi
The
market.
market.
So I would come back from school, wait for her. She would come and make the food, and then sometimes in the morning she'll be trying to clean my sneaker to make sure it is clean.
Okay.
And then I remember one time she tried the sneaker was so wet because she was so tired the previous night that she burnt a hole in it with the fire that she was trying to warm it.
She was using fire to clean it?
To warm it. So she cleaned it, and it was so wet. So she wanted it to be slightly warm for her grandchild.
And then burnt it.
So these are some of the... So I'm in Ashtown right now.
Right? And I love it. Let's stay in Ashtown for a while. So this is your mother's mother?
My mother's mother.
Describe the relationship you had with her.
Oh, man. I don't know if my mom will be happy that I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So my mother brought me to her. I was quite young, maybe 3. And she loved me so much that she breastfed me for milk to come into her breast.
Your grandma?
Yeah, my grandma, even though she was about 50.
Wow.
Something, yeah.
The human body is wonderful.
Exactly.
Just the stimulus made the breast milk come.
Exactly. So when my mother came back from work on vacation, she said, "Hey, but what have you done?" We had such an amazing relationship.
Just think about it. That's the same woman breastfed with your mother.
And you! Yes.
Wow.
It is strange. So we had such an amazing woman, and she took care of me for maybe 4 years. And I remember that we used to go to church together. She would take me to church. And
which denomination?
Methodist.
Okay.
And when we come back, whenever I fought with someone, she will take me back to that person's house and say, "Boni B."
Beating.
Boni B. And when we are fighting, she'll be saying, "Yile. Yile."
She had some, she could speak, huh?
Yeah, I don't know, but every time I was fighting, so whenever when I was growing up, they thought I was too soft.
Okay.
So they wanted me to develop a bit masculinity and be a bit more robust. So if I fight with somebody, I cry and I come home, she will take me back to go and fight
again.
For her to see
that you can stand up for yourself.
Exactly. And as I was growing up and I came to see the conflict between that, I said, "You came back from church and took me into
a war zone."
So that was my grandmother. She was a hunter. She used to go to Amantin to go and hunt.
Amantin is like a forest?
Yes, Amantin is like a forest.
She was hunting?
Yes, she was hunting.
What were her weapons?
I think it may be guns, stuff. Or sometimes too, she will go with the men because she used to sell bushmeat.
Okay.
So she will go with the men, and when they kill it, if you are there with them, you get to buy it cheap because you help them carry it.
Yes.
And then so in Kumasi, there's a very popular place in Kumasi around Ashtown called KO, where they sell fufu and bushmeat.
Yes.
That place is called Akyeame in KO. If you know fufu in Kumasi, those are my relatives.
That's the place.
That's exactly. And my grandmother worked with her cousins and her sisters. They were the ones running that business. You know,
Wow.
so.
Do you remember some of those? Because you went to the Methodist church with her.
Yes.
Do you remember any of the songs that they used to sing in the church back then?
Oh, definitely.
Can you sing one?
Yes, I can.
I want to hear it, man.
I can sing one. Which one, cry? How sweet the name of Jesus sounds in a believer's ear.
Yes.
It soothes his sorrow, heals his wounds, and drives away his fears. It makes the wounded spirit whole and calms their troubled breast. Takes manna to the hungry soul and give the weary rest.
Wow. It must have been a great time.
Yeah, it was a beautiful time.
What do you think are some of the enduring lessons you learned from grandma? What did you call her?
We used to call her Ebo.
And what did she call you?
She called me Kwame. Kwame Apel.
Okay.
You know, so some of the things that I learned from her was that you have to be tough. Life is tough. You have to be tough. And then I also saw that during the time, even after my mom came to take me away, I saw that I think she had stroke for twice, and both of that she got up from the stroke and went back to work and died at 101.
That old?
Exactly.
She was a tough one.
She was tough. She died. She could see. Okay, in the last year before she died, she could see clearly up until like 99. She had, her teeth was intact. Her brain was sharp. You know, I remember that even around 98, whenever I visited my mom, she now came to live with my mom. So whenever I visited her, she would tell us the story of how her father's father came to Ashanti region and all that, you know, so she was very sharp. But for my grandmother, Ibu, whenever I think of her, I think of resilience. You know, one time, I went to ask her, Nana, because she used to rent a place in Kumasi. So one time, the landlord was, you know, giving her troubles. And then not the landlord, the landlord's children.
They even feel even more entitled than the landlord.
Exactly. And so I asked her, Nana, where is your own house? She said, my house is in all my children.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a deep one.
Exactly.
So she was always home when she was with her children.
Exactly.
Nice.
You know, and then her children grew up to build multiple houses, and they couldn't know which one to take her when she was old.
She knew what she was talking about.
Exactly. And she never went to the classroom. She took all her children to secondary schools and universities.
Shout out to grandma.
Yes, Ebo.
Any of your songs? Have you written any songs that are dedicated to her, or any songs inspired by the relationship you had with her?
Yes, you know, sometimes, even in Masanaba, there are things I say in Masanaba like why you say sumye, what is sum necessary. What does
that mean in English?
It means that you are like a pillow. You experience weak moments. You see weeping and you see laughter, but you never open your mouth to utter a word.
Just like a pillow.
Just like a pillow. Pillow for lovers.
Yes. And that was your grandma.
So that's some of the sayings of my grandmother. And so things like inkukunkaka and all those things I said in Masanaba. Those are all my grandmother's lingo.
What is inkukunkaka?
Inkukunkaka means like it's a is it an onomatopoeia?
Yes.
It's inkukunkaka, like
sound of things moving around.
Things move like
okay. All right. And exactly. She used to say stuff like that.
Yes, she used to say inkukunkaka. You know, so for me to have been able to use all those words at 21 in Masanaba, 26 years ago or 28 years ago, it was because I was fortunate enough to live with my mother, and she also introduced me to Akan poetry. Deep Akan poetry, yes. And so I think that I get my depth in the language because I had the opportunity to live with a grandmother. And even though I've not done a song in her honor, her ethos.
Yes, the influence.
Yes, her influence is through everything that I'm doing.
How about mommy? What's your relationship like with her?
We are great friends.
She's still here with us?
Yes, my mom is here. She's 75. Okay. I spoke to her yesterday. She's funny. My mother is very funny. My mother and all her siblings are like, they like comedy. They are very interesting. She is very liberal. I think I am more like my mother than anyone else on earth. She's very considerate. She's sensitive. My mother is like, she's like wisdom. She's wise, you know. And when I think of her, because it was very difficult for me to see my mother eat because there was 5 of us, and she would wait for all of us to eat, and then she would eat the scraps under, you know. And I used to wonder, when do you eat? You know, so my mother was also very funny. She was also very cultural, very traditional, because she was born in her village, and she didn't come to the city until maybe she was 12 or 15. So she's very in touch with the Akan culture, and I think that is one of the key reasons why I am the way I am. We have an amazing relationship. Yes.
What have you learned from her that has remained with you till now?
Everything. Her voice is in my head. So whenever I'm going to do something silly, I'm thinking, if my mom sees this, her heart will be broken. She said, I didn't raise you this way. But I think that's everything. To be able to consider, my mother is very sensitive to other people's pain. She's very forgiving. She's very accommodating. She has long suffering. My mother is the epitome of the Holy Spirit that Paul speaks of in Galatians 5. Like, she is perfect.
She has all those characteristics.
All those 9 qualities, you know. So I think that I pick a lot of my sensitivity from her.
Did you stress her when you were growing up?
No, I didn't. I was a good child. So I didn't stress my mom at all. I think out of all my siblings, I was the most obedient one. And I don't say this out of ego. I'm saying it because it's true. So my mom had asthma, and we moved from Ashtown to Fantino Town. And when I was about my son's age, whenever I hear that she was hissing and her inhaler was done, at 1 a.m., I will wake up and walk from Fantino Town to Amekom to go and buy her an inhaler.
That distance, in terms of minutes that you walked, how long would that be?
Maybe it's a 20 minutes walk. So from Fantino Town, Asafo Market, to like Love FM.
Yes, that's a long distance.
Yes, at 11 or 12.
You're not scared? You're not scared of walking in the night?
No, I am not scared of anything on earth. I'm not scared at all. You know, so, but when I was even much younger, they used to call me Contemporary Tem, because whenever you send me
go
out,
quickly, come quickly.
I'm quick to go. I love that they will send me, you know. And then
were you athletic? Were you running?
Yeah, no,
or you'd walk quickly?
I walk quickly, and I come back because I was happy to serve. And then another thing that was very significant in my childhood, I'm saying a lot of good things about myself, but it's the truth, is that whenever food my mom was cooking, I'm there. She will call me to come and fan the thing, and I'm happy to come.
This is like a coal pot, right?
Yes,
and
to come and sit down and use the fan to fan it. But whilst other siblings are running away.
Did she teach you how to cook as well?
No, I won't learn how to cook, because somewhere along the line I fell down in school and I broke my left hand. You see the way it is. You see that? Yes, I broke it like 3 times. So my father would not let me do anything. If my father comes to catch you, that you ask me to pound fufu or something, he would kill you. So it took a long time for even my mom to accept, when I was going to secondary school, that I should wash food. A lot of things were done for me. Or maybe because I was also serviceable, washing dishes and things like that. So they thought that the cooking was another person's job, because I was doing a lot
of stuff.
Yes,
so why not?
So I don't cook anything.
Okay, but you eat.
I do.
We'll talk about that later. So how about your dad? What's your relationship like with your dad? When was is he still with us?
No, my dad passed. My dad was a pure gentleman. It's one of those people who was quite sharp, like my son. One of those men that are so sharp that they self-learn. So he went to, I think, Temale Technical School, and he graduated from a technical school, and then he learned accounting on his own. Passed, went to IPS and got scholarship to go and study in Italy. So every time he used to say, I studied accountancy. I went to a technical school, but I became an accountant. You know, so my father was very sharp and very dedicated.
How long was he in Italy?
I think maybe 4 years for a period of a degree.
Did he come back with the language?
Oh, yes.
Oh, nice.
He came back. He could speak Latin.
Okay.
I remember that some of his friends would call him, and he could speak Latin fluently. And yes, my father could write, Italian and speak Latin because he was also a Catholic.
Okay.
And he was an amazing dad. He was hands-on. Wherever we went to school, my father became the PTA chairman. Like he was there with us.
Involved.
He was involved from the get-go. One of those dads that would drive children to school when he has the time, pick us and take us to his office. Wherever he worked, he was the general manager. You know, so he would take us, he would let us sit down somewhere, wait. And I remember he would always buy us beautiful kwadu because he was
Bananas.
a GM. Yes, bananas. They would bring him bananas for lunch. Maybe it was a dessert for him. And then he would leave some for my senior brother, my sister, who were born at that time. And then when we come, we will eat that kwadu. I remember clearly. He was a complete gentleman. For him, he was a very, very proactive person. He wasn't rich, but he tried his best for us. He was there with us. And every time he used to say, his favorite saying was, which means there's no reward in laziness than poverty.
100%.
So, exactly. So whenever water pours on the ground and we are waiting for the next person, says somebody will slip and bust the head.
So do it, man.
And then we are going to use the money for KNK tomorrow to take them to the hospital. So every time he kept saying, any how many be so here. My father, we had an amazing, at a point, he had about 3 taxis. So after work, he would drive one for chop money. And he would put me by his side. And then around 9 o'clock, we would go and drive around
in the night
for maybe 1 hour. And then so I used to come back, I would be asleep, and then he would pick me up and then go and put me in his bed. My father was amazing.
Did he ever converse with the passengers that he picked up?
Yes, he did.
You must have had some interesting conversations.
Yes, we did. And then sometimes some of them knew him because he was born in Kumasi. He was born in Asafo. So some of them knew him. And they say, manager, not the one Uchi. So
you did that
exactly. Today, are you the one driving? Yes. He say yes. He say Akan, you know. So
he was a humble guy.
My father was humble. I think you knew my dad. Yes, before he died, he was the general manager at Fox FM.
Exactly.
And then
that was your dad.
Yes, that was my dad. The Fox, that cute guy.
So he got to see you as a musician.
He did. He did.
What did he make of your career as a musician? What did he want you to be?
So he was hoping that I'll become an accountant.
Okay, just like him.
Yeah, just like him. But my maths was terrible. Like I wasn't very academic, and I wasn't very studious because even though I had a lot of love at home, the education thing wasn't working. So his heart was broken that I couldn't. Just double the giver, credit the receiver. You can't do it. Accounting is easy. Why can't you do it? But I couldn't do it.
If you look back, do you think it's because of the dyslexia that you had when you were young?
Oh, completely, 100%.
Did you know did they diagnose you as being dyslexic?
No, they didn't. They just diagnosed me as dumb.
Who told you were dumb?
My father and the teachers.
Teachers.
What do you mean?
Which means you're stupid.
You are stupid because you can't add 2 + 2. Everyone can add. Why can't you add?
How young were you when you heard those words? What do you mean?
Oh, maybe it started around 5 when I started going to class 1. So when I went to class 1, at a school in Kumasi called St. Joseph's, there was a woman there called Mrs. Boama, who was my mother's friend. And my father and my mother had gone to tell Mrs. Boama that I grow woman, so it means I play too much.
Play there or I talk
exactly. Too much. So they should try and help me to be able to learn, because even around 9, 10, I couldn't still say my ABCs.
You couldn't?
No, I couldn't.
At 9.
So I would say M-N-E-O-P for M-N-O-P. That's how I heard it. You know, I couldn't add, I couldn't subtract, I couldn't do long divisions. Now, I couldn't do any of that.
Were you being promoted even though you couldn't do all those things?
Yes. Yes, because you know, the system just, you know, it keeps you...
Sweeping you up.
It just keeps sweeping you up, thinking that you will catch on. But so I went through school like that. And so if we are like 70 in class, I will come out at 69.
For real?
For real, or 70.
You were the guy holding the class?
Yes, I was holding
like Samson.
The whole class. I was the one holding the class. And then sometimes my father would try to teach me, and he didn't have because he used to stammer a lot. So he didn't have the patience to, in that department, He didn't have the patience to draw it out of me.
What's it like to be like almost at the bottom of the class in terms of what the other students say to you, the teachers, your parents? What was it like?
It is humiliating. It is humiliating. Because look at it this way. You go to a Ghanaian school. That's why I didn't let my children go to a Ghanaian school. Because I didn't want them to experience the same thing. I'm even about to cry. So you go to school in the morning and then there's dictation. 2 1, spell immediately. I am a...
The cane.
The cane. Spell
Monday morning
oxymoron.
Mental. Did you do mental?
Yes. And
what was mental like for you?
Charlie, we are the ones in the class. We are saying 2 1. Then the ones who know what the answer say 2. So we say 2 2 4.
It's call and response. You call and they respond with the answer.
Yes. And so I want you to imagine the fear that either it's dictation or it is mental every morning. And so they came in my head. I can still feel it in my head. You know, and you know, they came you in there. Or where did you go to school?
Yeah, I got it on my hands and
on my hands, on the back, in the head. Papa, it's just in the morning. You don't have the time to do because he's beating the whole class, 80 of you. So whichever place is available.
You didn't look forward to going to school on Mondays?
Not my every day. In the morning, I was scared. And now I'm coming home, and then my results, my father has my results, and I'm going to face this man who loves me, but doesn't quite know how to deal with my dyslexia. And then he's broken-hearted. Sometimes he's beating. Sometimes by force, you have to know the 3 times table. You have to know it by force. So he has a cane on you. Know it. What is 3 7? Wow. I still don't even know it now. Do you know the age I was before I realized that the simultaneous equation meant that the equations are happening simultaneously?
Exactly.
31. University first year. That was when someone told me that simultaneous equation means it's happening concurrently.
At the same time. Who understood you? Who understood what you were going through when you were young?
My mother a little bit, but they still kept telling the teachers, "I grow when you
play too much."
Yes, he plays too much.
But were you playing?
I was playing, but I was depressed because I was completely afraid. I mean, whenever it was the opportunity to play, to run, to jump, to do things like that, then I would come alive. But whenever we are in class, it is trouble.
Did they teach you music back then?
So I learned music at secondary school in CAS.
Okay.
We played at Entebben, which I still play.
The flute.
Yes, we played the flute. We learned music. Arpeggios, coda.
Did you enjoy that class?
I enjoyed it. So 3 classes that I enjoyed at secondary school. Akan, which I had 2 or B. I had 2 or B. And then music and English.
Okay.
Yes, I would have passed English completely, but during the final year essay, there was the word kokrobite in the passage.
Yes.
And I didn't know it was a town.
Yes, a town in Greater Accra.
Exactly. So I read it as kokrobite. So because of that, I failed English too. But when I was done with my...
You failed English too?
I failed, I think I had 7 or 9. Wow. Yeah.
What did you pass?
I passed Akan and music.
If you look back at it, those are the 2 subjects you needed for your career.
Exactly. Exactly. I passed.
God was talking to you.
Yes, I'm telling you. And so for the accounting, sometimes I'll go to the class. When the teacher comes to the class, I'll just tell them that I'm going to urinate and not come back. Because immediately I sit in the class, I go blank. Like whenever I sit in a math class, I go blank. I hear echoes. And sometimes when I open the book, it's like the letters are coming at me.
They're
like,
walking.
Yeah, yes, they are
floating out of the thing.
They are flowing out of the
Wow.
Yes.
Did you think you were going crazy?
No, I just knew that I had something. Because my grandmother and my mother had introduced me to Akan poetry. And so whenever I went home and I was dishing out these Akan poems, people will gather around me to listen to them. Me ya abofra. Obo ade abo me afra mpanyimfo. Me ya abofra nti me se me yo de hye. Ene me nsanka, me nanka. Sa abrabo be din, abrabo be mreo, me mfa nyaga. Fi se dua busi kwan a anoma mfa ho. De nsuo ye na owia be ye. Nsuo abro nkyene, enku sere, aboadwu enku, owia be bo na me da asen.
And how old were you when you were doing these
5,
poems?
4. 6, 7.
These ones you could remember.
Exactly. These are the things that I was great at.
So you were more verbal than numerate or anything.
Exactly. And then I used to scribble. I used to draw. I used to paint.
What kind of things could you draw?
I could draw anything. Human faces, perspectives. I can still draw. I can still draw. I can still paint. But when we're going to Form 4, secondary school, my father said I should do accounting. I said, no, I want to do art. They say you do accounting. So the art in my father's eyes, agro. That's the tree word for it is play.
Yeah.
You know, so they forced me to go and do accounting and geography and this and that. And when my final O-level results came, it took me 2 months. 2 months before I could go and show them the results. It took me 1 month to go and look at it.
Did you have a feeling that you were going to bomb?
I knew I had been bombing. I was at war. I was at war my whole life.
You became used to it.
Exactly. So at that time I was a bit older. I didn't quite care about my results because I knew that at that point I won't go to school again. So, but I couldn't face my father. You know, so I sat home for 1 month before going for the results.
Was he not asking about the results?
He was. So they had to force me. So 3rd week, they said the results have come. If you don't, I will go to the school and take it myself. And if I do that, then you are dead.
What secondary school did you go to?
I went to Anglican Secondary School, CAS.
Okay, CAS.
Yes. And so I went to take the results. And then I won't show it to them. 1 whole month.
How long did it take for you to open the it wasn't in an envelope?
No, you sit down, and the headmaster will wear his glasses like this and look at your face like, oh, Jimmy Nambe Jimmy.
This is the result.
Maths 9. Economics 9, home skills 9, English 7. Say ya number I no more go school anymore.
And these were your grades?
These are my grades. 9, everything.
The best was Akan?
Akan, music, yes, and English 7.
Because
of Kokrobiti.
These were your best grades?
Yes.
2 2s and a 7?
Yes.
And the rest were 9s?
Everything was 9.
Science, all of that stuff?
Everything. So when I gathered the vim to give my results to my parents, I gave it to my mother. She looked at it and said, okay, oh, Papa, I'm the best.
When your father comes, I'll show it to him.
Yes.
What was the emotion on her face? Did you feel you had disappointed your mother?
Yes, I felt I had disappointed her. And I didn't care that much. I didn't fear her that much. So my father came in the night. So the next morning, 6 a.m., they came to wake me up. And then we sat at the hall and we discussed it. When my father opened the thing, he didn't say a word. He started crying. He had tears coming out.
Was that the first time you had seen your father cry?
Yes.
What was that like?
I was. Because I had toughened myself. I don't care what they will say. Because I don't need the education anyway. But when I saw him crying, I also started crying. My heart was broken. And then I remember my mother said, okay, if he doesn't want to go to school, and the MP fit have been finding Koye.
Let's take him to become a mechanic.
Let's let him become a mechanic.
Were you interested in cars?
No, not at all. I was. It's or you want to be a
tailor.
You want to be a tailor.
Oh, they started choosing professions for you.
Yes, I said no. I said, but so we won't learn. So what are you going to become?
Yes.
And I made them a promise that I want to reset.
Second World War.
I want to go for Second World War. I tell my son all the time, he left, he would have laughed. I want to go for Second World War.
Yes.
But I promised them I will learn. So my father didn't say a word. And then he let it be. We had decided that, so I went to register. I will go and register at WAEC for November.
Yes. The reset time.
The reset time. And so there's this young man in Fantino Town called Lord Marcus. So you remember Lord Marcus?
I remember his name.
He was tall.
Yes.
Yes. So Lord Marcus is the coolest guy in the whole Fantino Town. He plays basketball. He wears the best Nikes. His father was an Anglican, I've forgotten, AME Zion, priest. You travel outside, they were exposed. So Lord Marcus was the only person that could rap. So he introduced myself and Lord Kenya to rap.
Ah.
Exactly. That's why Lord Kenya is called Lord.
After Lord Marcus. So Lord was like the name.
Lord was the guy.
Yes, yes.
So I went to Lord Marcus. I said, I want to learn how to rap. Because in secondary school, I had made a deduction that the poetry that I knew was the same as the Chaucer and the literature that we're learning. And I had also started rapping, and I could rap better than everybody.
Who were your rap heroes back then?
Also, so my rap hero was Lord Marcus, but outside Ghana, there will be Rakim, Eric B, Tribe Called Quest, Digital Underground, Busta Rhymes, Shabba Ranks, Lady Saw, Lady Patra, Shinehead. So I'm listening to rap music. I'd become a rap sensation at this time. This is 92 already in Ghana with Okyeame, in Kumasi with Okyeame Kofi.
When you're in your teens?
Yes.
Around 15?
Yeah, around 18. So I went to Lord Marcus. I said, Lord Marcus, please teach me how to rap. I want to know. And so he said, bring your O-level results. I said, this thing is following me everywhere.
The thing you're trying to run away from.
Exactly. So I went to, he said, Abonde, nepede rap. Like you are this.
You're dumb.
Yes, and you want to rap. So I begged him. I begged him. I said, please, I will learn. He said, if you are going to, I will only teach you how to rap if you promise to read a storybook every 4 days. So he will give me James Hadley Chase. He had the whole collection. And he will teach me alliteration. He said, go and read this book. Underline all the alliterations in the book and bring it. So I'll go and underline all alliterations. The next day, oxymoron. All oxymoron.
Marcus was teaching you.
Sarcasm. All sarcasm. Whatever. Everything. He's teaching me composition, expose, rising story. Show me where's the suspense in the story. Where does the story drop? Who is the protagonist? Who is the antagonist?
You were getting all this from the James Hadley Chase novels.
Exactly. All of it. So I think I read all the series.
With the pretty ladies on the front.
Exactly.
Holding you down or something.
Yes. And so Lord Marcus, in this short period of time, introduced me to reading, which I loved. He introduced me to crime, detection, crime. He had introduced me to law. He had introduced me to the Western civilization, society. He had introduced me to writing styles, and he had just opened my eyes.
But what happened to your dyslexia? Because you couldn't read before?
Exactly. So the dyslexia is happening with ADHD, which is attention deficit disorder. And you only do not have attention when you are doing something you do not like.
So once you're doing something where you
like,
then the dyslexia just
you are a
disappears.
superhero.
You are a hero.
So Lord Marcus found that sweet spot, and then he teased it out of me. So now I'm doing my Second World War, economics, government, this one, that one. I had, I think, 222 or 1111 in all the things.
Second World War,
I cleared everything. English 1, this one 2, this one 2, this one 2, because now I come to understand. The only place that I still had some challenges was maths, but still I passed.
You still passed it?
Yes, because now I was able to comprehend it. And so I went to sixth form.
How long did it take for you to go and show your father the results?
When my Second World War came, I think that one, it comes in a mail or something. So they just opened it and passed. Then we didn't have any.
What was his reaction?
He was so happy. He was so happy. But Lord Marcus was sort of a Rasta man. So because he's teaching me rap, now I'm hanging with Rastas. And these Rastas are introducing me to conspiracy theories and geopolitics, Babylon, reggae music.
Yes.
Exactly. But my father loved it. Because I remember
Your father loved it?
Yes. There was a gentleman called, this musician's senior brother, the one that produces for King Promise, Kill Beat. Kill Beat had a senior brother called Papa Ja. Papa Ja used to write the lyrics for Nana King. Papa Ja is saying Nana King Boko.
Okay.
Those are, that is Papa Ja writing. So Papa Ja was a musician. He played the guitar. He's introducing me to chords. Saint Kankam is introducing me to philosophy of African music. And then I'm becoming a bit more enlightened. I'm beginning to, my worldview is changing. So when I did my sixth form, I passed once.
Where did you go to do your sixth form?
I went to Bantama SDA.
Okay.
So I did a sixth form and then I passed. And I had good grades. I was actually going to the university that very year.
What did you want to study back then?
I think I was going to Cape Cape Vast to do B.Ed, business and education.
Okay.
But that was around the same time Andrew had come and decided to produce Akyeame.
Who was Andrew?
Andrew is our first producer, the one that you know Andrew.
Yes.
Andrew is the one that produced
Nyansapo.
and then yes.
Okay.
So Andrew had decided to produce us. So I was in the queue going to register. This gentleman was in front of me, Otujando.
Okay. Nano
Otujando.
Presenter.
Yes. So Otujando was in front of me. We're all going for first year, and I told him, my brother, I'm going back to Kumasi. I don't feel good about this, and so I got on a bus and then came to Kumasi, and then we recorded the song. That was when, this was around 96. That was around 97. Then I met you, and then we started recording.
So you were going to go to Cape Coast?
You were in the queue. I was in the queue. I was standing right behind Otujando.
You qualified to go?
Yes. The next time you see him, ask him. And I said, no. I think I should go. So I listened to my voice.
And then you went back.
And then I went back. And then Andrew put money in us. Okyeame Kwame brought us to Accra.
Former Deputy Minister for Tourism.
Exactly. Honorable Okyeame Kwame brought us to Accra, did some remixes with Zap, and blah, blew up.
Take it back a bit. When did you meet Okyeame Kofi?
Yeah, so I met Okyeame Kofi around 1991. So this is Form 4. And he lived in the same Fantino Town neighborhood.
Also a Kumasi guy?
Also, so he's sort of an Accra guy.
Okay.
Accra and a Swedro guy. His father used to work in Swedro, but his mother died at birth. So his auntie raised him at Dansoman. So he was an Accra guy, and then sometimes he would go to Swedro. And so when he came back, he was a bit, when I met him at a table tennis bout.
You play table tennis?
I play a lot. My father introduced me.
Does he also play this? Kofi also play?
Kofi play, I play better.
Okay.
Yes. So
I have to verify from him.
Oh, ask him. He will tell you the truth.
So it was a tournament?
So no, we were playing in the community.
Okay.
So the Baba, there's a Baba 2 houses away from my house. And then the Baba had a table tennis table. And so we come and play. There's something called lose to play. Lose to pay. So if you lose, then you pay.
Then you pay.
So I'm just there cutting everybody. Will be
What's your favorite stroke?
Me a backhand.
Backhand?
Every yes, backhand. I do everything. So I'm there just winning everybody. And then Okyeame Kofi came. This nice Dada B chubby boy in the, he came, he wants to play. And I didn't know him from anywhere, just took it and started playing. And I beat him 3 times. And
so he was paying?
So he was paying. He didn't have money. So this overconfident guy had come to play without money in his pocket. But Onana, who owned the table tennis, would kill him. And the way he was soft and peche, Okyeame Kofi is the B. The way he was peche, I didn't want Onana to kill him. So I said, I'm paying for you. I'm paying for it. My mother gave me this money to cut my hair. But now I have to pay for you because you don't have money.
And you lost.
And I don't want this guy to beat you. So he said, but what were you going to do? I said, cut my hair. He said, then let's go. I'll cut your hair for you.
Oh.
He said, I'm a Baba. I can cut your hair.
Okyeame Kofi.
So right away.
It makes sense, man.
Yes, we went to his house. And then he cut my hair. We went to his house. He bought blade, put it on a piece of
on the comb.
On the
way we used to do it back then.
And did my hair nice.
Give you a fade?
Gave me a nice fade. He cut my hair nice. And then we became friends. So this is the time that hip hop was the jam and everyone was catching the fever. So we are both rapping. I was sort of the one rapping, and then because he could write, so he would write most of the lyrics that I would rap at that time, and I would go on stage and rap. At this time, I'm competing with Swazi B, Sassy Pack, Shimole, Lota, DJ Tebo B, and the Dusty was also a child DJ at that time.
So this is the underground scene in Kumasi?
Yes.
This is the underground scene?
This is 1991-92. At that time, they used to call me Wizkid.
That was your first stage name?
Yes.
Wizkid?
Yes. So that was when I knew I wasn't
stupid. You should have kept that name.
I know. Yeah. That was when I knew I wasn't stupid. Wizkid. Because whenever I'm on stage or when I'm writing a song, like I'm just too much. I'm in my element.
Yep.
I can do it every day for 4 hours. Just sit down for 4 hours, listen to music, write, rehearse. So
who named you Wizkid?
Lavin C.
Oh, the DJ.
Yeah,
the presenter.
The presenter. So,
okay.
Yeah, so Lavin C used to, they were the ones who were hosting these rap competitions.
Yes, battles.
City Hotel.
Yes.
And so one day I was rapping. I think they used to call me MC Kwame. Remember there was a rapper MC
Yes,
Kwame. So I
yes,
used to call
yes.
myself MC Kwame. And then he said, this is the whiskey. One of the competitions that I came first. And then everyone started calling me whiskey.
How many names have you had? You've had MC Kwame.
MC Kwame.
You've had Whiskey.
I've had whiskey. I've had Okyeame Kwame. I've had rap doctor,
Okay.
versatile.
Yeah, this ones we know. Yeah, one of the ones that we don't know. I never knew you were called Whiskey.
Exactly.
And MC Kwame.
MC Kwame.
Okay.
You know, so Loving C changed my name. And an interesting story. So around 14 to 15, that was when I started rapping. Because I found myself there. And so every weekend night, I would walk from Fantino Town to City Hotel to go and rap. And my father would ask me, where did you go? I would lie. I went to study at Poly. He knew I didn't go to Poly.
City Hotel is now Lancaster.
Exactly.
Yes,
So,
which used to be Golden Tulip.
so he used to beat me. At the point I was going, so we would fight.
Oh, really?
Not popo,
Okay,
but I won't
okay,
let him beat me.
yeah.
I hold his hand because we're the same height. You know. And then one day, around 2 in the morning, at one of these competitions, I was standing at City Hotel. After my performance, someone held my hand. It was my dad.
He came to the place.
Yes, not knowing. Loving, because my father used to manage a club at that time in the evening called Copacabana. Or was it Fox Trap? I don't remember which club was it. And Loving C knew my dad. So Loving C had told my dad that I was an amazing rapper. And I was very talented with poetry. So they had made a plan that one of these nights he would drive to City Hotel to come and see. So he held my hand. And then he said, so this is where you have been coming every weekend.
Instead of going to Poly.
I said, yes. He said, but this thing you are doing is not bad. This is very honorable. You are very talented. Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, that surprised you, right?
Yes.
Because a typical Ghanaian father would not
at all
push it.
So then, after the competition, I came first. He put me in his Datsun 160J. We drove home and we had an amazing conversation. And then he told me that he wrote 6 books. He wrote books to put himself through uni. He wrote books to sell. And then some of his books were endorsed by this amazing Roman Catholic priest, Bishop Sapon, and things. So he brought out the books, and inside these books are poems.
So your father too was a poet?
My father was a poet, so he also increased my knowledge in poetry. And then at that time, Flo Kingston and Kunta were kids, so they learned with me from my dad and then from myself. So that is why both of my brothers can write.
Yes.
And they know poetry that much because it is my father that gave it to us. So from that time, he will encourage myself. Flo Kingston maybe 14 at that time or 12. He will encourage me to encourage Kunta and all of us to go and rap. So even when I traveled, I went to live in America, he will let Flo King and Kunta go to the rap competitions under his supervision.
Shout outs to Loving C.
Yes.
For making sure your father came.
Exactly.
Because it opened a whole door.
Yes. And then from that day, we didn't fight again.
Nice.
Yes.
So you're building your career in Kumasi. First album comes out.
Yes.
When did you know that this thing was going to be a success? Tell me the first time you heard your song on the radio. And what station it was.
Remember that we had been working, we did a whole album together at Despite Studio in Kumasi. Yes. And the building came down.
Yes. Crazy.
Just happy that we're not
there. We're not in the building, man. Otherwise we won't be here.
The building came down, the whole studio, and the songs got lost. So we took the ones that you had helped us produce, we can come. Yes. And we took it to Zap.
Yes.
And Zap remixed B.R.A by him.
Exactly.
So once he gave us the song on 14th of February 1997, Mark Ukrekumante, who was playing at, I think it was called Metropolitan City or something. It wasn't quite the drive time. It also wasn't in the afternoon. It was in the twilight. He played B.R.A by him for the first time. I was enjoying Cosmopolitan
mid-morning, like from 10 to 12.
Exactly. Okyeku was playing it. And so he played B.R.A by him at that time. I was sitting at Joy FM, and then I remember getting up, jumping, falling down and rolling from wall to wall.
Your music is on the radio.
My music is on the radio. And the song became an instant hit because B.R.A by him was so good. It was hip-hop, it was high life, it was Adwa, the 680, it was cultural, it had the traditional elements, and Kumasi people already knew me. They were waiting. And Reggie Rockstone had already opened the floodgates and we came
just went through.
Yes.
So that was the song.
First single. Yes.
And what was the reaction of your parents?
My father was very happy. My father was. I'll tell you another thing about my father. So, after we released our first album, Okyeame Kwame was playing Drive at Fox, and they called him Sacramento Driver.
Yes.
He was playing Drive at Love FM.
Love FM.
And then my father was general manager at Fox. And then the drive on Fox wasn't amazing. So he was advised that if Okyeame Kwame is succeeding at Love, then let your son also come and play at Fox so that we compete. So his strategy was to use my newfound popularity to push the drive time audience share. So I started.
And then go head to head with your guy.
Exactly. I started 1 month, 2 weeks. It was terrible. It was terrifying.
You didn't enjoy being a presenter?
I sort of enjoyed it. I didn't know how to do it because it needs technical skills.
Nobody was teaching you how to use the faders and things?
They did. I just didn't know it. I've come to see that in life, technical is not my stuff.
Yeah.
My stuff is ideation and oratory.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't know how to do it. I was fumbling. And then one day, my father called me to his office and he said, it's intrigued. Let me say it again. He said, you know what? I said, this drive time that you are playing is giving me a lot of problems because you are not cutting through. So I will have to let you go.
Your father, they can fire you.
Yes, he fired me.
I'm fired by my father.
I'm telling you.
Sounds like a movie, man.
Yes, I will have to let you go. But the rap thing that you do, you are the best. Focus.
Finish, man. You gave us bad news and good news.
Yes, I didn't feel any way about it because I knew I was terrible.
Yes.
And then I moved on and I went to focus on being Okyeame Kwame.
But he did. He used psychology on you, man. He gave you the bad news,
yes,
but then ended with good news.
Yes.
So that it doesn't make you feel like you are nothing.
Exactly.
So I think he did a good job.
So this is around 97. I was maybe 21, 22. I'm great friends with my dad. I used to pick him up, drive him to his funerals. He used to say, this is my son, want to show me how to dress well, wear shoes when you are going here. So we had become great friends. Because we were great friends, except the education thing. My father really loved me. So I had become great friends. I went to the US and then one day I'm calling him to have a conversation with him. And then someone picked his phone and said he's dead.
Just like that?
Just like that. So I spoke to him on Thursday. I was calling him on Saturday. He was dead.
What was that like to hear that news?
Oh man, I was on a bed. I jumped from the bed. I cried. I cried for 1 year non-stop. I used to have dreams every night. I used to wake up for 1 year. I used to wake up every morning. My pillow would be completely wet from crying whilst I was asleep. And I used to dream. I see my father in a secluded place in a small house. And then I used to walk miles to him every night. Have this thing, wear a white shirt, black trousers, and black tie. He's sitting in a place, there's no one there, and a cat. So I ask him, Papa, you don't like cats. What are you doing with cats? And he won't say anything. He'll say, And then when I'm about, so this was why I would cry in my dream. When the morning was coming, I'm about to leave him, then he will say, Kwame, Okyeame.
You're leaving me.
You are leaving me. Every night.
Wow.
It was wild.
What was that like, man?
It was wild. So I used to go to work. At this time, I lived in New York. So I used to go to work sad. I was sad. Completely sad. And I almost became homeless at that time because I was hanging out with a chick, and the chick had also, divorced me, and I was looking for a place to live. My father had died. One of the significant moments was that one Sunday evening, I was so sad that I decided to go to church. I stopped going to church when I was around 15.
Why?
I'll tell you later. And so I decided to go to church. And so I took a shower, wore my suit. I took the taxi to a church in the Bronx, Ghana church. And I sat through the church for 2 hours. The only thing the pastor said was, today, the collection we are going to collect, we don't want less than $100. That's the 2 hours I sat there. I was going to listen to our teacher, the word of God, to edify my sad soul.
Make you happy.
You know, so I just got off and I said, this thing that I have stopped doing, it's a good thing. I've stopped doing it. I won't do it again.
And then you didn't go again.
Yeah, so I just left.
What took you to America?
So Akyeame had won the award for Best Hiplife Song.
Even before that, why did you guys call yourselves Akyeame? Because Akyeame means linguist, right?
Exactly.
Linguist.
So remember that when we were doing the music, when we started making that, you were producing for us. Remember, it was tough. We had started in 1991.
Yes.
No one would produce it. And every time we send our demos, we thought that these demos were really good. Because you have to make the demo and go and show it to a big man or a distributor or a producer to listen and then say, I'll do it. But no one will do it.
Who are the people who rejected you, man? And you still bump into them?
They're just big boys in the doom, rich people in the doom and things like that.
Still alive?
Yes, sometimes I see some of them. They say, why are you have done
well.
Yes, I don't want to mention the names. It will not be nice for them, but they rejected me.
And then what do you say in your mind when they say you've done well?
I said, it's up to you. You know, so they will say, they will listen to the thing and say, the music is good. But why don't you just play music like Hamachi did? This talking you are talking, no one will buy it. Mama, you let me lose my money. You know, so this talking is too much. Why don't you play music like Hamachi?
They want you to sing like what they know.
They want us to sing. Like, you know, so Kofi and I decided that. So at that time, Kofi was called Daniel and I was called Whiskey. So
do you have an English name, by the way?
No, I don't. My father didn't give us any of. I'll tell you that story too if we have time. So he didn't. When he came back from Italy, his name used to be George.
George Apo.
No, his name was George Nyantechi.
Nyantechi. George.
Charles Nyantechi.
Charles.
And then he said that he met his lecturer's child, who was also called Charles. And he asked him, what is your name? He said, Charles. He said, no, that Charles is not your name. Charles is my name.
Yes.
What is your name?
Good question.
As an African, what's your name? So that was the day he realized that he had been named wrongly. So when he came back, he changed his name from Charles Nyantechi to Kwesi Insiambota.
One time.
So he didn't name any of his children. That's why my children don't have English names.
You have a son called, your son is called Bota.
My son is called,
after your dad.
Insiambota. Yes, after my dad.
All right.
You know, so Kwame Insiambota.
Okay.
So he named me Kwame Insiapel. My senior brother is Kwame Insiades.
That's it.
Kwesi Nyantechi.
That's it.
You know, all of us, he didn't give us any English names. Because
just something just entered my head. I don't want it to leave. How come you have like different surnames? How does that work in the Akan system? Because you are Kwame Apel, and then you have another who is Kwame Why are the names different?
So my father's name is Insia. That's the surname. You know, and then Kwame is my day name.
Of course, the day on which you were born. Saturday.
And then you need to choose someone in your family to name the child after.
Which comes after your surname?
After my surname. So my father named me after the most prominent person in his family.
Which is Apel.
Which is his uncle that helped take care of him. So he says that he never saw his father.
Okay.
And so it was his mother's brother or cousin. I don't know. I don't know this Apel man.
Okay.
But he said that this Apel was very considerate and very consistent with helping him grow up well. So when he had me, he was so happy that he named me after his favorite uncle.
So traditionally, you always want to name your child after somebody, apart from your surname. You give them
yes.
you give them, okay.
Yes, you have to name yourself as someone who has helped you or someone that you respect.
Okay.
So that the child will take after that person's character.
So all your brothers, your siblings have Insian.
Yes.
And then they are named after somebody else
exactly.
as well.
Yes.
I understand. You are the first one who has broken this down for me.
Really?
And now I'm telling you.
Oh,
I keep wondering how come they're all four brothers and they all have different names. But the last name now I understand.
Yes.
It's named after somebody that the father respects.
Yes.
And it's the man who names children,
yes,
right?
Yes, and I'm the man that names the child.
So back to Akyeame.
Yes. So we took the name Akyeame because no one will produce us. So we realized that if we take a name, we draw from a cultural relevant place. And in this case, it's the court. So we went to Ahimfie and took a name.
The palace.
The palace. So we realized that around that time, almost every artist that came out had a name from the palace.
Really?
Yes. So you have Obrafo.
Okay. It's executioner.
Nananum.
The eldest.
The eldest. Akyeame.
The linguist.
Kronti Hine.
Kronti is like a...
The Kronti Hine. Like the vanguard.
The vanguard, okay, leading the army.
Leading the army.
Okay, all right.
So you realize that Almost
All
all
the names were
the
coming-
names
you're
came
right.
from the thought. The thought process here is that if we choose a name that you respect already,
You can't reject
then
me.
you will respect.
And you can't reject me. Because
Exactly.
I'm coming from the palace.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it became Akyeame, Okyeame Kofi, Okyeame Kwame,
Okay.
and
So Akyeame is a singular, and then Akyeame is
Akyeame
plural.
is a plural.
Okay, so you were linguists.
Yes.
And you were speaking for yourselves.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So that was the name.
That was it.
Okay. Now, America.
Exactly. So we Masonaba became a big hit.
Okay.
Neck to neck with Daddy Lumber's Abenwa.
Yes. Yes. How did you find the guy who sang Masonaba?
Nana Kwame.
Nana Kwame, how did guys
I
work
think
with him?
Okyeame Kofi brought him into the crew. I don't remember exactly how he found him, but I think Nana Kwame reached out to us after a concert and said that he could sing. And then he became our friend, and then realized that he could sing. So we put him on. And around that time, he was fortunate enough to be singing BVs or to be working with Kodwenchi.
Backing vocals for Kodwenchi and all that stuff.
Kodwenchi, so he was with Kodwenchi. Kodwenchi had trained his voice a little bit. Now, that's why he told us. So we said, no, why not? Come and sing the chorus.
Confession. It was only a couple of years back that I realized that the person singing on the Masonaba was a man.
Really?
The thing is so sweet. I thought it was a lady. I can't. You wouldn't believe it. I couldn't even believe myself. It was him.
Yes, it was him.
I thought it was a woman.
It was him, and I was the one doing the BVs.
Yes.
I was the one doing the.
Oh, you were doing the backing vocal.
That was a yes.
Okay.
That
was you.
That's my voice. Yes.
Nice.
That's my voice. And then, of course, a lady sang some. The lady that did my dear, my dear. Yeah, she also sang, but the chorus was Nana Kwame. It was so sweet.
Sweet song. So that song blew up, and they took it to America.
And then, so when we after the awards,
This is like music awards.
yes, Okyeame Kofi, Akyeame and that Lumba were the biggest winners for the night. And so a booking agent decided to take us on a tour to the US. So we played in DC, we played in Texas, we played in Houston, played in New York, Jersey. So we went to the tour.
Was that the first time you were in America?
That was the first time.
Can you remember your feelings when you touched down in America? Where did you touch down in America first time?
JFK. The thing that shocked me in America wasn't the high rises, but we went before the show. We went to do a rehearsal with the band. So the rehearsal was around 4 o'clock. So we did the rehearsal up until 9:10. And when we came out, the sun was still up, and it was 10 at night. I'd never seen anything like that before.
That cannot happen in Ghana.
Exactly. It was 10 in the night, and then the sun was up.
What did you tell Kofi?
We were both shocked. We went, looked up and said, hey, a real bull.
And it's 10.
Exactly. And then I remember that in school, they used to teach us shorter nights and longer days.
days. So your geography or whatever is now coming into play.
Yes, we made the connection.
What kind of things they teach us in African schools? Things that we'll never experience until you travel.
Exactly, as white as snow. So that was the experience, I remember. But it was such a beautiful experience because we're in America as superstars. We're being pampered.
What was that like? What was that like to be treated like a superstar? You had security?
We had security.
So you're on the same stage with Daddy Lumba?
Yes.
What's that like, man?
Man, we had so many people that by 2 o'clock, the police had to come and shut the whole show down. Because the number of people that were coming, I think Apollo seats maybe 3,000, 4,000 people. And our Ghana people, they sold more tickets than 4,000. And more people kept coming. And these Americans, they don't joke with their security.
No, security and health and safety and all that stuff.
Exactly. So they had to shut the show down because they had told the organizers to stop charging money.
Yeah, stop selling tickets.
Stop selling tickets.
This is full.
And then we were still selling tickets and people were coming at the back.
We took our behavior there.
Exactly, because they didn't sit down, they were dancing.
Seriously.
So the place could accommodate more people.
And you were dropping your hits on them.
Man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So they had to shut, but we had more shows. The following week we did DC, we did the Constitution Hall, and then we did Texas. It was a beautiful experience. So we came to Ghana.
You didn't overstay?
That time I didn't overstay.
Okay,
we came back to
time.
Ghana, yes. And then I think 6 months later, or the next summer, or I think maybe 2 months later, it's a long time, someone booked Kodwenchi and Akyeame.
What's it like being booked with all these people that you are like your heroes, and all of a sudden you're on a stage with them, man? Did you meet Kojo?
Oh yes, I was with Kojo 2 days ago. That's my hero.
Back then, when you met him.
Yes, so
what was that like?
we were on a bus with the whole team, but that one was even a much more intimate experience with to get the opportunity to ask questions, chords, progression. What's the philosophy of this song? My shining star. You know, so I used to tell him that this your song, if it wasn't for reggae, it could qualify for jazz. Then you would laugh. Yeah, he said who produced it? Eric Antonio.
So you're getting
this
all
one
the
I'm getting one. We are on the same bus, on the same tour
You
bus.
can't get that experience, man.
We Kojo, and then traveling, Texas, this place, that place with Dangral and Akwabo's father and great
session people.
Great session people. You know.
Still no band though.
Still no band with a CD. Foolish boys. You know, we used to. I don't know if the word is delude.
We were deluded, eh?
That if the band played, we will not get that
the
synthetic tightness of the drum. We were foolish. So
the young shall grow.
Exactly. So we go and play our set. Of course, because it was the set, they heard the song as exactly as it was on the CD. So we will play an instrumental
and then sing over it.
Dub and sing
with some backing vocals to help you.
And sing over it.
It's cheaper too, right?
It is cheaper. But we're not. We could have played with Kwabianchi's band.
Exactly.
If we're just sensible.
Yeah, they would have learned the songs. And
played before we traveled.
Exactly.
You know, so we used to say this live thing, a whack. But whenever they play, when Kwabianchi played, you see that all the people will come on stage and dance.
Because it's different. You know, you can slow the music down, you can stop, you can
talk,
chat. There's no pressure.
Experience. So, looking at that, after the gig, Kwabianchi came to Ghana. So, it was after this gig that my father died.
After the second time you were in America?
After the second time. And that time, Akyeame had released our third album.
Which was
and
what?
The album had failed completely.
Which songs were on that one?
You don't know it.
Because it failed?
I can sing some of them. Just so, but we did another one that almost said that had a
this so-called failures again, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, really?
So that one had a I don't want to say merengue,
okay,
but it had a flavor. Who
produced that one?
Zap Mallet. It was a beautiful song.
And the public didn't want it?
The public didn't want it. Because after we started traveling to London and US and Europe for performances, we had changed the way Mark had branded us.
Okay,
yes, I remember he used to say, I'm going to brand you as the guys next door.
What was his role in your
He was our manager. So he came to Kumasi to come and produce us. He wanted to put money in us. By the time he came, Andrew had already invested money.
One mic. No, Jasapo.
Spiderweb.
Spiderweb Entertainment.
He had already invested money. So he and Andrew came together that, okay, if he has already invested money and he's not in Ghana, I will manage you guys. So Mark was the one doing all the magic, managing, and then Andrew will bring money.
Okay.
You know, so our thing, and Andrew was pushing for us in Europe, pushing for us in London. We're playing gigs every weekend, going to London, going to Europe, performing.
Launching from America and going there?
Exactly. No, so this is before we went to
America.
Okay. And then, so when our third album had failed, and then my father had died, and Kunta was 12 years old, and there was 5 of us. My senior brother was working national service in Tama. My sister was still in school. Flokin was in secondary school too. And my mother was a teacher. I decided that since this music thing is not working, let me stay in New York and get 2 jobs so I can support my mother. Because my father is dead.
Yeah.
You know, so I stayed.
Did you come back for the funeral?
So I came on the 40th day. I came for
They had already buried him before you came.
Yeah, I came on the 40th. They had not buried, he was in the morgue. But I didn't come to the funeral because I didn't have money to come for Adedianai and come back also for the funeral because I had to now work and support my mother.
When was the first time you came and saw your father's grave?
I've not seen my father's grave.
How come?
I have not. I decided I would be too sad. So every time I go to Aija, I am tempted. I know where he's buried, but I've decided not to go and see it.
You don't want to see it?
I don't want to see it. I don't want to feel that way again. So I'm masking my fears from running away from it. I've not seen my father's grave. I've not walked to where my father was buried. I've not seen it. I do not want to see it.
You used to dream about him though.
Yes, I still dream about him once in a while. But the last time I dreamt of him was like 3 years ago. I was in a long queue to go and meet a big man, like an MP or a millionaire or something. And when I entered the room, he was the one sitting down there. And I said, you are the one sitting here, and I have been in a queue. And then he sat down, he said, how can I help you? And I said, I've done everything. I don't know what to do again. And then he took out his Seiko watch and gave it to me. It was a particular watch that he used to wear all the time. He took it up and gave it to me. So in my older age, when I have a dream with my dad, it's always about time. Yes.
What do you think he's trying to say?
I think he's trying to tell me to be on time.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to tell me to be professional.
Yeah.
To let my yes be yes and let my no be no.
But you still don't want to go and see where he's lying down.
No, because I don't think he's there. I don't think, and plus, there's a good amount of his philosophy, his ideology, and his love already.
That lives in you.
50% of me. So I have intentionally delusioned myself. I don't want to go. I don't want to think that he is down there under that marble. Yeah. I've not seen it.
So you went to America?
So I went to America and I stayed. My father died, so I didn't come back.
Okay. How long were you in America?
For almost 3 years, 2.5 years.
What were the best times in America?
Best times in America was when I used to rent cars, and when I'm tired, I had 2 jobs. So I worked I washed dishes for my first job, and the evening we clean offices. So I would go and work and then come home, chill for 1 hour, eat, and then walk to my second job. And then I work till 12, and then I'll come back home, sleep, wake up at 5, go to my next job at 7. I think those were amazing times. Looking in retrospect, I think that those were the real shaping moments of what my life was supposed to be, to get the opportunity to see what the options are. If I don't make music, this is the type of life that I must live to be able to take care of my family. And I didn't like it. So I enjoy getting the opportunity to learn how to work on time, go to work, clock in, right. For my second job, I was sort of like this, the manager. It was called the operations line lead. So I write reports and do this and that and work on time, because I had not had the opportunity to do any professional work at that, except for being an artist, which I was in total control of my life. So that 3 years gave me a good sense of timing. So I think those were some of amazing times. And then on weekends, we could rent cars for the whole weekend and drive to Tennessee to go and see Lord Marcus. And St. Kankam was in DC, and we were in New York. And Okyeame Kwame was in Columbus. So we used to rent car and just drive interstate. I remember it was an amazing experience, but I still missed performing.
So what happened to your music? I mean, for those 3 years, were you still writing?
So for those 1.5 years, I worked at Whole Foods Market. Before I washed dishes, I worked at Whole Foods Market. We're packing fruits, selling fruits.
You became strong?
I went macho.
But you had broken your arm previously?
Yes, but at that time,
it didn't affect you?
My father that would not let me use the hand. He was dead. So I had to
use the hand?
I had to use that. So at that time, at that particular time, all that I could think was my mother. So whenever I didn't want to go to work, I'll just close my eyes and I see my mother's eyes. I say, hey, school fees is on this woman. That they let me work and support. So I did it happily. So I worked in New York for 1.5 years. So Okyeame Kwame said, hey, Charlie, you are becoming too popular in New York because people know that you work at Whole Foods Market. The girls actually come there to see Okyeame Kwame working, selling oranges. So come to Columbus. So
these days would have been live streaming you.
I would have been trending.
TikTok.
Exactly. So I went with Okyeame Kwame to Columbus, which was a bit quieter. Yeah. And then we started making music again. So
while you were still working?
Whilst I was still working. So we started buying equipment.
Okay. What's it like What do you know about dishwashing that you can teach me?
I can teach you everything about dishwashing. So
You use a sponge or is it a machine? How do you wash the dishes?
So there's the dishwasher there. But so where the place that I used to wash dishes, it was called Creative Cuisine, and they used to cook to sports stadiums whenever maybe there's a basketball match or a tournament. They used to cook big dishes and send it to sale.
That's a lot of plates.
It's a lot of plates, not just the plates, like big dishes. So let me tell you a story.
Pots.
Big pots. One time, Michael Jamina, we were going to the studio. The musician. So they came to pick me up. And so Kofi and Michael came. They were waiting for me at home. I wasn't coming because I was trying to get 2 hours more for overtime.
Yeah, of course.
So they came to where I worked, and they said, "Oh, Chame is in the kitchen. Kwame is in the kitchen." And Michael came to the kitchen and he couldn't find me, not knowing I had climbed into one of the pots with a ladder.
The pot is that big?
It's big. I had climbed into one. So when they said, where is Kwame? When I heard the name, I came out. Michael Jamna saw me and started crying. Said, Ghanaian superstar.
My brother is in the pot.
Why you You know.
So this pot is like this here?
Yes, it's like that.
There's a ladder, you climb it?
Yes, I climbed.
What were you looking for, my brother?
I had to scrape I had to scrape it and wash it. So for the plates, that was the easiest thing to do. It was the pots that were difficult. That was difficult. So I'll first clean the plates, all of it, especially on Mondays, because weekend they would have gone to
the games.
catering.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll just clean it. And if they did it on Saturday, we'll be waiting and consolidating on Sunday. So by Monday, I come to work, I scrape, I clean first, and then I put it in the dishwasher and wash. So it will wash. When it's done washing, I'll just take them out and dry them. And once it's dried,
you dry them by hand or you put it in a dryer?
I put it in a dryer. So once it's dried, I'll take all of it and go and shelf them in the kitchen.
In a session, shift, how many plates do you reckon you could wash?
I don't know, but it will be thousands.
Thousands of plates.
It will be thousands of plates. So I didn't just wash plates. I also mopped the kitchen floors. You know, the kitchen was big, about the size of National Theatre. The inside, it was big. So I was the one with mopping, and the tiles were white. The tiles were white, and we have like about 200 chefs cooking.
200 chefs?
200 chefs cooking left and right. And when they go for break, when it gets dirty, I'm the one to come and mop the whole place with Parazone. So I remember the first day I got a job there, he gave me a mop and a mop bucket. And he said, show me. I said, show me your style. I'd never seen a mop before.
Even from Ghana?
Never. Because you know, at that time in Ghana, we used to sweep. And clean the floor with a rag.
Yeah, on your knees.
Exactly. I'd never seen a mop before. So he gave it to me. I didn't know. I said, how do you use it?
Yeah.
And then he said, he thought I was trying to flex.
Yeah, no.
You know, so he showed me how to use it. And
your supervisor?
Yes, my supervisor. And then I used to mop twice, halfway through the work. And when everyone was done, I would stay and mop and make sure that the place is clean, squeaky clean. And come the next day to do the same thing again.
How tired could you get?
Man, I could get tired. The difficulty in all of this is that after I go home, I had only 1.5 hours to rest for my second job. Which was cleaning offices.
Yes.
You know, so I had to rest. So what I would do is that I will go and fill up the bathtub and put soap all in it, warm water. I'll dive into it and wear my headphones.
Yeah, we like cats.
Yeah, and wear my headphones and just be listening to Bob Marley's music.
Which ones really resonated with you?
I just listened to one song.
Which was that?
Fly away home to Zion, fly away home. One bright morning when I wake up, I will fly away home.
Why did that song resonate with you,
I was
man?
going to fly away one day.
One bright morning. When your work is over, you will fly
away home.
Oh.
So I used to listen to the song for the 8 hours. I had a small tape at my kitchen. that I played the song. Also, my boss used to come and say, if you fly, just fly. We are tired of
Where's your boss from? Where's your boss from?
He was an American.
Black, white?
He was a white gay guy.
Mm-hmm.
A white gay guy.
How did you know he was gay?
Because he told me he was gay.
Okay.
And
straight up from the beginning?
So when I started working there, I didn't know he was gay. So he asked me, are there gay people in Ghana? And I didn't know. I said, I naively said that if you are a gay person in Ghana, your whole family members will catch you and beat you up. Not knowing he had taken offense.
Oh.
So for the 1.5 years that I worked there, he never liked me. Because I was coming from a homophobic society.
Yeah.
You know, so he never liked. He used to come and tell me every day when he was leaving. I told you I used to get 2 hours on overtime.
Yeah.
He said, mop the floors, close the doors, and leave the keys here. He said that very thing every day for 1.5 years. So one day I confronted him. I said, I'm not stupid. You have said this thing every day
for over a year.
If you come and tell me tomorrow that I should mop the floors and close the door and take the keys here, I will slap you.
You had it?
Yes. I was tired.
What was his reaction?
So the next day, he reported me to the owner of the business that I've threatened him. Yeah. And then he said, if I slap him, we'll call the police. I said, I don't care. But if you come and... So they called the meeting, and then I gave my side of the story. But I cleaned dishes so well that they couldn't find anyone to clean dishes like me. Whilst I was working, on days that I was off, they would get other people to come in. Jose to come and wash. No one could wash dishes like me. When I was rapping as Wizkid, no one could rap like me.
Just do the work.
No one can marry my wife better than me. No one can father my children better. So when I am committed to doing something, I give it my 100% best.
Then do it.
You know, so I'm indispensable. So that's the only reason why they didn't fire me. But I said I was going to slap. One time, it snowed so much that the taps would not flow.
Yeah, it froze.
Yes, it froze. And so we went to Shannon's house. Shannon is the owner of the cuisine. Went to Shannon's house to fetch water, all the workers. And then I heard this guy telling one of the workers that they should watch me because I am an African, I might steal something. That day I cried. I was so sad. I said, me, steal something. So I just prepared myself that one bright morning.
When your work is over.
When my work is over.
You will fly.
I will fly away home. Okay, let me tell you a story. So around this time, Okyeame Kofi and I used to live at Okyeame Kofi's sister's basement.
In Columbus?
In Columbus.
Ohio.
Kakra, yes. Of blessed memory.
She passed.
Yeah. Yes, she passed about 3 years ago. And so she will come from work and drop me at work before she comes to sleep. This morning, one day, when I heard, so I got ready around 5. When I heard that she had come, I was running up the stairs. I heard that her husband was fighting with her. This guy that you always drop him, don't you let him learn how to take the bus. So I walked by them and then went to stand at the bus stop where no bus is coming in Columbus, Ohio at 5 a.m. Even in New York, the bus comes at 6:10 or 6:06. So I'm standing there for a while. I say, hey, they will fire me. So I started walking.
To work. In
the snow. It was 11th of November. It had snowed about 12 inches. So I started walking from like Circle to Osu.
So it's a big distance.
So I'm walking and the snow is falling in my eyes. And I'm walking, I'm cold. My nose, you see my nose has a different color from my face. It was
a Yankee. Yes. That particular winter.
Yes. I was cold and I'm walking. I'm going to work on time. And then I got under a footbridge. I looked up in the skies and I asked God, what have I done against you? Why am I suffering this much? What have I done? I'm a good kid. Why are you allowing me to go through all this? And then I heard the voice of God. He said, you are a fool. All your life, you've wanted to rap. I've given you the talent of rap. Why have you come here to wash dishes? You are very disrespectful. So I decided that I was going to buy a one-way ticket and come to Ghana. And the next time I'm going to America, I'll be going in my kingly glory. Yes.
So you bought the ticket? So
I told Kofi I'm going back. He said, me too, I'm going back. I'm tired.
Okay.
You know, so we fixed the time. We worked hard, 2 jobs. We bought equipment, music equipment, film equipment, editing equipment, computers. And we decided to come and set up a multimedia music recording company and try to start afresh. And then we came back, and then I became a solo artist.
What is the song? So how did Akyeame break up?
So same way. So when we came back from Ghana,
from America,
we came back to Ghana. I realized that people had forgotten about Akyeame.
How long?
This is 3 years.
After 3 years, no hits, they forget you.
Yeah, 3 years. I mean,
it's a long time in music.
It's a long time in music to be forgotten. So they had forgotten about Akyeame. And I remember that it was at one Nkase album launch. DJ and the Dusty was playing. So he said, Charlie, let's go and show them. So I went, and Nkase remembered me. So they put me on stage. And when I started rapping and singing the Akyeame songs, the people say, boo, boo.
What was that like?
So, you know, I have a signature style in rap, which is the twist. So I twist the tapa, 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 and they say, yay!
Give me an example of a twist. Rap something and twist for me.
Or like okay. Exactly.
A lot of alliteration.
Exactly. Yeah, so not just that, but the way I drum the words, I use the consonants in the consonants in the syllables to drum.
Okay.
And through repetitions and sometimes alliterations.
So it's very rhythmic.
And so it's very rhythmic that the people, it baffles the people. You know, so they did yay, and then I walked. So I realized that the Akyeame dream had died. So let us revive it. Okyeame Kofi had a completely different style of how he wanted us to reawaken it. I had a different style. He was thinking of, okay, let us use let us make ourselves expensive so that we use that to position. I said, no, people don't remember you. So if you make yourself expensive, no one will even come for you. But once in a while, a Polly, you know, Miss Polly, they'll call you Miss IMS or Miss KUST. They will call you Akyeame's back, you know, and we release a song. Make what to say, yet on Wuda, Sika call and Sika and Todo, Menkomeda. You know, so people will call us small. When they called us, Kofi said the money is small. He won't play.
Because he wants to be expensive.
Exactly. And then I was thinking that we had to use frequency.
Let them see you often.
Let them see us often because the game was changing. But he was thinking that let's use scarcity and choice. So this is the thing that broke us. So at a point, and I was broke too when I came back. So I decided that, okay, when shows come and he doesn't want to play, at that time, Elankra is managing us. And so we will do, we'll go and sit down with L to discuss this problem. Then L advised that, okay, if he doesn't want to and you want to play, then take the shows and go and play. So I started taking the shows.
And Akyeame?
Yes.
Okay.
I started taking the shows. And I started enjoying the money by myself because I was the only one playing the shows. And I started enjoying the freedom to express myself on stage artistically as myself. So I recorded an album to suit that, so that if people call and he's not interested, then I will go ahead and perform those songs. So that is how. But the thing is that I didn't tell him that I was angry with his style and that I was going solo. That's where I went wrong.
Okay. So is there was there like a dissolution? You're like, okay, you know what? Let's break this thing up. Or it just kind of organically happened?
It organically fell off. And see, this is my best friend. We had been in the same house for 15 years. We've gone to America together. We have done everything together. And then we come back to Ghana. And he's doing something I don't like and I don't tell him. So his heart was broken completely. He felt completely betrayed and he won't talk to me. I was also angry and I felt betrayed that we've come back, you are working at Fox. I have no work. This is what I want to do, but you won't assist me to do it. Okay, fine. And then
everything just went apart.
Yes.
You guys talk now?
Oh, we talk every day.
Okay.
We talk on
so it's back.
Fatherhood.
Okay.
We talk on religion. We discuss a lot philosophy. So sometimes we can be on call for 2 hours discussing philosophy.
Deep chat.
Deep into the night. We discuss everything. Children.
Okay. So the relationship is still there?
Yes.
What's the first song that you blew up when you came as a single artist? Like a solo artist, as Okyeame Kwame?
So there's a song with
Yes.
JQ.
Yes,
Yes,
JQ.
yes, it's a beautiful.
So that was
highlight.
so you didn't work with Zap again when you came back?
I worked with Zap later, but when I came, JQ was the one who had the sound that the people wanted to listen to, breaking the bottles.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I went to him and I asked that Sibre Gramana of blessed memory to come and bless me with a verse. And then I remember I was coming from Kumasi. I got to the studio, the studio session was at 1. When I got there at 12, that Sibre Gramana had been waiting from 11. To sort, because we're great friends. Remember that we're all under the same Slip Entertainment.
Slip Entertainment.
So he came, he sang the song beautifully, waited till the evening, and then he made himself available for promotion on music, and he, even when I was launching the album in Kwau, he came to come and perform at the launch for free, you know. So that was, he came to shoot the video. We shoot the video in Kumasi. He drove to Kumasi to come and shoot.
So he was a buddy.
Yes, he was my friend.
When he was going through his troubles with the law and his eventual passing, I mean, how did you take that?
Oh, so I saw him maybe 2 months before he died. We did a concert together in Takwa. 2 months before we died, we had a long conversation. After the show, we sat down and we had a long, deep conversation into the night. You know, so he told me that he didn't sell cocaine. He had never seen one before, and somebody might have packed it into his bag.
Wow.
So that's why
he thought it was a setup.
Yes, that's why they released him, because he had not touched whatever.
His prints were not on it.
His prints were not on it, and they realized that he was innocent. You know, so that's how they released him, and he told me, but it has broken his heart that someone will put him through, you know, that. So I don't know what disease he was suffering from, but I think his heart was so broken that he was ready to let go.
And where were you when you heard that he had passed?
I think I was in the US.
Okay. Which was your favorite Dasibre song?
Oh, I think it's Coco.
Hey, Zap. What's it like working with Zap, man?
Ah, it's amazing. First one where Casey was domineering.
Yes.
Because it's big.
It's huge.
And
he's Man Mountain.
And he's knowledgeable.
Yeah,
he's like miles ahead.
He plays all these instruments.
Exactly. He plays everything, drums, bass. But now I work with him now on my new album, and it's just magic. It's a learning experience. And it's beautiful. His senior brother, his daddy. It is rekindling an old spirit. It is just, I talk to Zap every day, whether we are working or I've spoken to him today. It's a beautiful experience to get to watch Zap in the studio, play the lead, play the bass at his age, do the drum rolls and
keyboards,
things, the keyboards, all that stuff, and arrange and mix, give you a crisp mix.
The kicks are powerful.
Exactly, and the sound, the bass, you can hear them. It makes us clear. You know, so it's beautiful to watch him and learn from him.
Who are your other producers that you've enjoyed working with? Did you ever work with? Okay, you worked with JQ.
What
was that like? What was JQ's process like?
Beautiful. He is very meticulous. He's on time. He doesn't joke around. He is serious. We are making music. He sort of appreciated my depth of rap. I like the sound that he had created. He had created another high life music, which was not from Ashanti region. You know, high life music, the Ghans had their own.
Yes.
You know, in Shona sound.
Exactly.
The Ashanti people had their own with 2 guitars.
Yes.
You know, and then the Western people had
they
a
also have
classy,
their own. Exactly.
jazzy, you know, with
Western Diamonds, all those
big band. And then the Northerners also had their own type of high life, you know. So I really appreciated the Ghana fusion that he had created with hip hop and what we're doing.
Good back.
And you know, so I was amazed. It was a beautiful experience working with him. But he also appreciated what I did with it, what I did with the beats, and my understanding of and how I owned my crafts, and I didn't want anyone to dilute it unless I would let you. You know, so he appreciated. We worked well. We became great friends afterwards.
What are the favorite songs that you've produced with him?
So I did and I also did Tintin with it.
Mm-hmm.
Even the song Your Friend Misika, he's the one that produced the original version. JQ produced the original, the demo of Warsaw.
Okay. Oh,
So
okay.
I started the
before
song.
It went to
before it went to Richie, and
Okay.
he made the hip hop. It was a Palogo song.
Ah, nice.
So,
Do you have those old mixes?
yes, I do. I have
Yeah,
them.
they're worth releasing. Oh.
Exactly. Even sometimes when I'm on stage, I perform
that version,
that rendition of the song.
Your favorite rap song for you that you did with you?
I think it's Your Friend Misika.
Okay.
Yeah. But the song starts as a highlight song, then there's pop, then there's hip hop, and then it gets to a point where it's classical. He introduces the balance and things, and then it goes into a change. There's it's do-woos, the choruses, and it ends with rock.
So it's just like a journey through music.
Exactly. You know, I even about 2 months ago, I asked him why did he produce that. He said he wanted to prove a point. He wanted to prove to himself that he still had it. And when the song became award-winning, he was so happy that night.
He reminds me of Quincy Jones.
Yes, he's talented,
because of the very talented producer,
talented.
Composer, arranger, everything. Other producers that you work with that you've enjoyed? Apietus?
Yes, I did Faithful with Apietus.
Ah, yes.
I did exactly. I did Faithful with Apietus. I did the Brothers song, almost the whole Brothers album. Benjamin for one night, yes, and they did an amazing wedding song together with Apietus. And then I remember we fight when we were producing that song. We fought over the pam padam.
He didn't want it, but you wanted it.
I wanted the
pam padam.
Yes,
that's what people listen to now.
Exactly. I wanted the pam padam.
He said no.
Exactly. So we fought over it. I put it in there. You know, so I've done amazing things with Apietus. I've done great songs with Morris as well.
Which are the Morris songs your songs that you enjoy?
Oh. If I'm not careful, I think it will be my favorite.
Which one?
One of my favorite songs. Medicama wa
Yes.
That's
it.
See, that's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song.
Yes.
And then I've done some beautiful compositions with Dan Graal.
Which ones? Which ones? Which are the background ones?
Made in Ghana.
Ambassador. Your ambassadorial song.
Exactly.
That's Dan Graal.
Yeah, so that's Dan Graal and the whole album, Bolgatanga Girl. And then my favorite song of all time, of all Akyeame songs.
That's my brother.
I know. So you remember I came to speak to you about the album.
Yes.
And the sound I was looking for. And you said, call my brother. Call Victor. He's the one that can help you. And
when I heard that song, I said, Akyeame is going to kind of jazzy vibe, but it's still keeping it Ghana.
Exactly.
What was it like working with Victor?
It was enlightening. I had not worked with a producer that was piano.
Yes. Because he's a piano
classical, jazz
piano.
Pianist. Working on a high life song at that level before. So Morris is very talented on the keyboards, but he's not
a jazz pianist.
Exactly, he's a producer. So I not worked with a jazz pianist. And fortunately, around this time, I had the opportunity of learning music at KNUST. So I'd done music studying under Ejako Onimo, the legendary Ejako Onimo, for 2 years. Applied guitar, classical guitar, philosophy of Ghanaian music, drum, pimpin sua, palm wine music. I'd had the opportunity of learning under Ejako Onimo. My understanding of music had increased.
When did you do a degree at USC?
So yes, I did a degree
in
Akan and sociology. But there was a VC course that you had to do for 2 years if you like.
What's VC?
Vice Chancellor's course. That everyone had to do a VC course. So even if you are studying medicine, you have to come and learn how to drum or do something. So I did music under Ejako Onimo, the African Studies Department. At Ejako Onimo.
And he loves jazz too.
Yes, Ejako Onimo is amazing jazz music. So he introduced us to different chords, sit, seven, suspended this, that. He introduced us to the shapes. So my understanding of music had expanded, and I had the opportunity of working with Dan Graal and Victor on the same project. So we did the song Mr. Versatile.
Yes.
We did White Wedding.
I love White Wedding.
It's your wedding, I can marry you.
Yes, I love that one too. That's a great song.
Yeah,
that album was good.
So that album
was electric.
Introduced this very Okyeame Kwame that people are experiencing. So it's introduced the Okyeame Kwame that wants to not just create a song, but a song that you can hear the music in.
Yeah. I'm getting chills just listening to it, man.
Yeah, in your head, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And is that the One Mic Entertainment?
Yeah, so
that's your company.
Exactly. So when I started as Okyeame Kwame, I started the One Mic Entertainment label because this is the very time that CD replicators were becoming cheap. Anyone could burn CDs. And the distributors, despite you name it, goodies, music, they had decided to stop making music. And most of them were shifting to making movies because of piracy. So at that time, every musician that wanted to be able to push his music had to create his own record label with minimal knowledge. So Obuo was doing Family Tree Entertainment. Ojanchu was doing Family Spirit. Ofori, All For Real Music. Obrafo was doing the execution. Everybody, every artist that still Samini music, every artist that wanted to keep making music, minus the backing, the financial backing of an executive producer, had to create his own company and try to do all the things that the producers and the distributors were doing.
Where did you get the name from?
So One Mic. So I took it from a Nas song that I love so much. All I need is one mic.
Okay. You like Nas?
One mic. I love Nas.
What's your favorite Nas song, man?
I can say he has a song with Demi Mali. The song is called Count Your Blessings.
Okay.
Have you heard it?
No. I'll go and listen to it. I'll go and YouTube it.
Yeah. Count your blessings. Count your blessings. I got love and insurance. I got a life and assurance. I got God in my corner. And I count my blessings.
That's nice.
You love that. I love that. So he did it with Demi Mali.
Okay.
I also like Patience. I like Sawali.
Okay.
He did a song with I think the deepest Nas song for me is Sawali. I like he did it's on the Distant Relatives album.
Okay. Who did the
Nas did.
That's him.
Yes, that's him. I can.
That's my favorite Nas song.
I want to be. If I work hard at it,
I'll be what I want to be. Yes.
Before we came to this country,
exactly.
we were kings and queens, not potch monkeys.
Full
Africans
history lesson.
The universities,
there
the
you
Europeans.
go.
I love
That's
Nas.
my song.
I love Nas. Yes, I
like
love
that.
Nas.
So you got it from one of his songs.
So I took all I need is one mic. So I took the one mic. I love the song and what the song represented. That all he needs in life is one mic. And for me, that's all I need.
Okay.
I don't need anything. All I need is a mic to speak out my poetry.
That's it.
And I'll be fine.
And if you look at it, it's one me. There's only one me. Everybody, one me.
Exactly.
One me. There's
exactly.
One me. You are me. I'm also a me.
Yes.
Everybody, there's only one me everywhere in the world.
It's
There's only one me.
Yes.
And only one you, which is your me. If it's you.
Exactly.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So what was it like growing One Mic Entertainment, man?
So at around this time, I had met my wife, Fresh. He fortunately he was studying at KNUST.
Yes.
He was.
She has a marketing background, right?
Yes, marketing. So she was at finished law school. She was going to go to law school and become a lawyer. But when she met me, she shifted. When she saw how unregulated and how disorganized the industry and my life was, she decided to study marketing branding. And her thesis was in finding alternative financial and distribution routes for the West African artists.
One time.
So she
with you as a case study.
With me as a case study, she did the research, she went to market, and then she sort of understood what was happening, and she projected a new brand image, which I will carry. And so she was sort of managing One Mic. One Mic, we had Kafui Dey of Blessed May. People have died, though.
Oh, Charlie.
We had the brothers.
Yes.
At a point.
Who are your brothers?
Yes, my brothers. At a point, we did marketing for Rexoma.
You did?
Yeah, we did marketing for Rexoma, Ben Brakun, and Morris. We put out Morris's Home and Away album. If you hate me, and I don't even know, all that came from the One Mic record label. So yeah, it was an interesting time, and she was managing it, and we had road manager, we had the PR, And then her strategy was to use more PR, the PR angle. And I remember that she says that branding is about reputation, and reputation is just a consequence of character. So forget your reputation, focus on your character.
And then the reputation will come.
And then a good reputation will come. So pray, you know, so proactive PR, you know, so we started building. So I'm the artist and sort of the A&R, and she's the brain.
That's repertoire.
And I started making money. So I had become a big hit. So I'm. We have done small. We have done small.
Mike so hot.
Because you know we got my name right. The ladies when they use it as a ringtone. Let me tell you the story of how Wusu came. So now I'm back in Ghana, 2003 or 4, I don't remember, and this is in 2007. So I had gone back to the university, and I'd met Anika. We're not married yet, or we're not married. And the music I had featured on 219 songs. Kafui Dey.
You were counting?
Yes, I was counting. I featured Daddy Lumba.
19 songs.
Yes, still my career would just be trying to do this hard, and it goes.
You came back from USA when?
203.
And then you between 203 and when you featured on 219 songs.
Yes.
Wow.
I featured everybody, every artist. Kafui Dey, Ohinebekisi. Every artist, mentioned every Samini, every artist at that time, Tiny, every artist was making music at that time. So I used to call people, I'll call Amanzaba and say, please, when are you recording? I have a verse to come and bless you. If he says come, I'm in the studio.
How does it work? Did you charge them? Or
No. I don't charge them.
Okay, so you jump on it.
I just jump on it.
PR now.
Yes, I just, so when I came back, Samini had used that same strategy to put his voice on everybody's music. He was the biggest artist. So I'm
glad you realized it, because I also analyzed it. So the man featured his way to stardom, man.
Yes, I decided to do this. Samini inspired it. So
Nice.
I said, this is how he did it. So
Jump on it.
So I also featured on. So my career would just be going up and then it dips. Just be going up and then it dips. Just be going, So at a point I told my wife, I think I was studying one day, I said, Annie, if this music thing doesn't work, when I finish my first degree, I'll go and do law. She said, no. You go and do law for where? You're going to be a musician. I said, but the thing is not working. Can't you see? She said, if you are going to do music, then let us stop the relationship right now. Because I want to be married to a musician. Because I've gone to law school. And I don't, if I wanted to marry a lawyer, I could have dated one and married one. I want to marry a musician. So if you are not going to be a musician, then let us stop this thing before it goes anywhere. In my heart, I said, what a haughty woman. So you are with me because I'm a musician? Yes, it's part of the package.
Honest.
So I'm thinking of it. The thing hits me like Azuma blows. So I think that weekend, we're coming to Accra for a performance. So as I'm driving, it was myself and a friend of mine called Fred. Annie is in the car. I gave her a paper. I wanted to show her that I'm the guy. So I said I'm writing a song about people and their hustle and to encourage people. So I'm driving, and then I will say the words, and then she will write it down. And then she will write it down. And I remember when I got to area, fine boy, only man toy, oh my man joy, then my cat. I couldn't find another rhyme. So Anika said koi. I said, what's the meaning of it? She said sheepishly. You know. So I said, a man feel koi. You know. So that was how I wrote the song. I wrote the song
while you are driving.
Whilst I was driving, to show her that I can do this music because I didn't want to lose her. And then the song became big, and then we got married.
Nice one.
Yes.
Solid.
Yeah.
That's a great one. That's a Richie production.
Yes, that's a Richie production. Yeah.
Favorite Richie song?
With me?
Yes.
I think it's Woso.
Yeah. No, Woso is a banger.
Yes, it's Woso.
How do you describe that rhythm?
That rhythm, you know?
What was it like?
My initial idea, you know, my initial idea was to do a hip hop song with front on from drums beating in it. So JQ tried the Palogo, it didn't work. So I said, let's try hip hop beat with front on from
drums, the giant ones.
Yes. you know, with hip hop music.
And that would whistle people because whistle means to move, right?
Exactly.
To shake.
So Richie said he would do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took the beat. He said he would send it to me in 2 days. And when he sent me the song, the front was in there. But he had built the whole thing around classical music because Richie likes
he likes violin things, yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So you see that when I get you, all the songs that he did, Give Me Blow, all those songs were built around classical stuff. You know, so he had built around, but the cellos, and it was so strong. I forgot my original idea, and I went to put the rap on it.
Straight up.
So it is. I think it's a fusion of hip hop and classical music.
It is
sort of like I'll See You When We Get There.
Yes, with a rap on it.
Exactly, with a rap on it. Yeah.
Where have you found your music to be popular and has really surprised you?
Ecuador.
Southern America.
Yes. So Kankam was playing with Hugh Masakela. He was playing saxophone. Remember Kankam?
Yes.
Yes, he was playing sax for Hugh Masakela, and then he was in Ecuador. Or Brazil. I don't remember.
What were they listening to? What song?
They were listening to Medisikama wa
Really?
Ube Diaman in a club, and they were singing it.
They were singing it.
Exactly. So he called me. He said, your music is big here.
Banging in some South America.
Exactly. You know, so before I came back, Kankam had started a band. And the band was called Africa Unites Band. So him was a Ghanaian, and then there was a Kenyan keyboardist. The drummer was from Nigeria. The percussionist was from Congo. He had built a band on Africa Unity. And then he said that instead of coming back to Ghana, I should come to DC so that I will be the rapper to carry that sound. We're creating an Afro hip hop fusion, you know, an Afro hip hop fusion, and between that and another genre of music that I had created called hip hop blues. What did I call it? Hip hop blues. I've forgotten the name. So it was Afro fusion, but with blue chords and a sort of rapping with a sort of a melodic cadence that will end in a D, a do. So when I got to the place, I saw a girl and she said, I'm about to be the bada.
Bringing all these influences into the
you know, to bring all those, you know, blue and jazzy things into it. Because I lived in America, I'd seen how important it was for me to create my own sound and create my own style.
Yes.
Because at a point, I was dreaming that I could create something that will fit in the style. So I was working it out with Kankam. But I was so tired of the place. I came back to do my cheese stuff.
And we're happy.
Yes.
So in KNST, you studied for your degree
in Akan sociology and then music.
Did you get like people? Why are you studying Akan? Did you get that feedback?
I got.
What was the most crazy or most surprising reaction to your subject choice? I mean, it's your choice, but people get flustered.
Yeah, we were the first group to study Akan at KNUST, at the Modern Language Department, when they introduced Akan. We're the first group. So whenever we were going for lectures, the geography and the sociology people and the science and the architecture people would be laughing. Akan for no.
How many are you? How many are you in the class?
I think we're like 30 something. We're very small.
And the class was in Chi.
Yeah, the class was in Chi, and we studied linguistics. We did social linguistics. We did morphology. We did syntax. Out of all the things that I've studied in my life, nothing has moved my intelligence up and moved my creativity up more than Akan. Yes. I remember in final year, we were to do philosophy, but Professor Ajiman, I don't know if I got the name right, Professor Ajiman will not teach Plato. He will not teach Socrates. He will not teach Leo Tolstoy.
Let me guess, he found an African philosopher?
Yes, he took people, poetry and writings or literature, so transcribed literature from people who had never been to school.
Good.
And asked us to analyze it, and we couldn't. And what he was trying to tell us is that education is not only formal, it is also informal.
Exactly.
And our gifts are hidden in our traditions and our culture.
Just like what your grandma and taught you.
Exactly.
You know, all that stuff she taught you, the poems and things that you
so the Akan that I studied at KNUST, it made me brighter than anything. You know, so I was so other people were doing their thing. I didn't care. That is how I know that rap music is poetry, that is drumming.
100%.
And the more you try to find cadence for it, and you almost put it in a rhythmic, or when it is almost a melody, when it almost has a melodic pattern, because it's speech,
yes,
rhythmatized speeches, I can't say it has melody, but if it almost has melody, it is easier on the minds for repetition and regurgitation,
of course,
than when it is haphazard and the syncopations are too many.
Yeah.
And the syncopations are not intentional. So I had the opportunity to understand what I was doing, that I was drumming with consonants. And I understood the syllabic meanings, the subtests of what I was doing. And then when I was writing, I was equipped with the tools of linguistics to be able to create music the way I created.
I'm curious, were you writing your notes in tree?
I wrote my thesis in P.
I need to see that. How many pages? How many pages, man?
I think it was 70 pages, 80, 120. I don't remember.
What was your topic?
My topic was hip life as a didactic instrument for change.
Was that topic in tree?
Yes. Hip life nyom. Hip life nyom. Aba. Hip life nyom waba. I didn't puntu oba.
That was your thesis?
That was my thesis. So I took hip life music and I looked at the didactic elements in it.
What it teaches.
And how we can use it for pedagogy. How we can use hip life music to teach people. And how easy and fluid it will be. And how, if you are using hip life music to teach, the way the millennials and young people who are identified with hip life will see, so
what kind of examples did you use?
Obrafo Sintitiepa. I did like a complete, appreciation of it. And
Sintitiepa means raising somebody, right?
Yes, and forming a character. I did even some of the songs that were perceived to be negative on the society had functional elements in it that will still teach positivism positivity.
Like an example of a song like that?
People will get, if I mention it, people will become petty or people will come. So I won't mention it. But
who sang it?
Okay, let me use my own example. In that case, I don't get into trouble.
Okay. So even if he's put a ring on your finger, you still come and stay with me.
Come and stay with me because in this town, one man's wife is another man's side chick.
Yeah.
Very foolish song.
Yes.
Completely foolish.
But it can still teach stuff.
It can still teach stuff.
Yeah.
One, it captures the moment of that time. Two, it registers that ideology in history. Three, you can draw out of it where it is coming from. You can see that the influence is hip-hop music. And the negative influence of hip-hop music, which was not just showing your boxer shorts or throwing your hands without understanding them, was also neoliberalism, which you can find in the music. So it represents a certain time. And the way that people reacted to it, I met a lot of serious people who said that song you made was a very foolish song. And so I don't let my child listen to it.
So the fact that they are reacting to it shows you.
Shows you that, exactly, it's whatever ideology that you lay down in that creative construct is opposite the nature of the culture. And therefore, even though the people have danced to it, they spat it out.
Is there a song you've put out that you wish you never had put out?
It is that song. What's the
title of the song? I'm going to look for it.
What a big song.
Has mommy heard it?
Yeah, my mom heard it.
What is that song?
Yeah, she didn't say anything. I think my mom said, this thing you guys are saying is foolish. It is in Kumasi, no, but young people dance to the song, but they just dance to the rap, and they had a tan 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 fresh.
She's fresh.
So people were dancing to Fresh,
yes,
rejecting the song, and telling us every time I met responsible people, they would tell us that this thing you have done, don't do it again.
So you can still learn from stuff that's foolish.
Exactly.
Yes.
You can still learn, exactly.
Bottom line.
I didn't use my example in my thesis. but I use other examples.
I'm going to find your thesis and I'll read it and I'll look
yes,
at it.
yes.
Since you won't tell me.
Oh, no, yeah.
So you did sociology.
I did sociology.
What was sociology like?
Oh, sociology was amazing. We're big in class. It opened my ideas. The Akan, as Akan, you see, when we study Akan, we don't only study the language. You are studying the culture, the people, the history, the language in context, you know, in context and how to be lettered in the language. You know, so as it was introducing me to Ghanaian or the Akan culture and its roots and why things are done that way, sociology was introducing me to Karl Marx.
Yeah.
And you know,
so you can actually even compare.
Exactly,
you know,
I compare because it's
okay.
So I'm reading assuming Nukunya in sociology, and I'm thinking, okay, this is the So I'm looking at Okyeame. I'm looking at poems like Beman and Num in near Puahu.
Meaning
it's a man that drinks beer. It's a man that drinks water with lather.
That's and this time the words were not floating out of the books this time.
No. At this time, I am happy. I'm in my zone, and I'm learning, and I'm going to school. At this time, I'm a popular.
Yeah.
Forgive me to say, A-list artist. I think grading artist.
No, I probably need that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
not that I'm A, but I'm grading art.
Yes.
You know, it shouldn't be graded because it's an expression of the soul. But I'm a popular artist of the year.
Exactly.
You know, making music, touring.
You're in your element.
And I'm quick.
Yeah.
I'm doing shows all around Africa. I'm in Nigeria on Sunday. Monday morning I'm in class.
Wow.
You know, so I'm in a hurry to come and enjoy, because every time I sit in a class, I learn new things. I have young people teaching me things I didn't know already. And
We're the oldest person in your class. When I did my master's, I was the oldest.
No, I
was. You're not oldest at that time?
Maybe I was.
Yes.
Maybe I was.
Yes.
Maybe I was the oldest.
But did you feel it? I mean,
No,
did it bother you?
I didn't, because I had a study group. I was happy. I had teachers. You know, a lot of the people that came to study Akan were teachers who had graduated from training college and wanted to top up.
Yeah.
So they came to do so they can teach Akan at the secondary
school. So you're the guinea pigs of the Akan program?
Yes.
And is it still being run?
Yes, it's
awesome.
being run.
Have they called you back to come and chat to the students?
Oh, yes, many times. Even last year, the provost, Prof. Charles Marfo, called me to come, but I was traveling that day. Okay. That day, you know. So, but what I do is that almost every year, the linguistics students at Legon, every year before they onboard the first year students, I am talking to them about how they can use language, whichever language that they are learning. Yeah. You know, how they can go into blogs or write vlogs, stories, teach on YouTube, teach on TikTok. I mean, the opportunities from learning languages endless, you know. So
and it didn't end at KNUST, because then you came to University of Ghana.
Yes.
To do a marketing degree.
Yes, I did it. So my wife had done a master's, and she, at a point, I didn't want her to be my master.
Catch up.
I'm being stupid.
It's allowed. You can't be right all the time, my brother. You can't be right all the time.
So I did a master's in marketing strategy.
Okay, what was that like?
Legon. Oh, it was beautiful.
Who were your classmates?
So my classmates, I had Elikodo of blessed memory.
Oh, that's a great man.
Yes,
MTN.
Yes, I had the marketing manager of Kasapreko at that time.
Okay.
I had the marketing manager of Engine. One of the marketers at Engine, Agbeku. One of the marketing guys at so
it was a network of marketing managers.
Yes, so they intentionally took about 30 industry guys and did an MA 1 year course for us to sharpen our marketing skill, and it was eye-opening. It was brutal.
Do you see yourself adopting what you've learned in your work?
Yes.
What's the most important thing one should know about marketing?
Hey, I know marketing. I know what the most important thing I know about marketing is that if I'm to choose two things that everyone should take home if you are trying to create a product, it is product potency and authenticity.
When you say a product is potent, what does that mean?
So if you say you are selling Gary or you are selling Alata Semina, black soap, what are the qualities of that? What qualities do you promise? This it lasts more than any other soap. It lasts for long. You can give it to your son to go to school for 3 months, and he will come back with still some in there. You know, so and
he must do it.
It must do what you say it does. So instead of thinking too much about the marketing, the branding, the PR, the advertising, looking for advertising value and all
The
that.
product itself.
Make the product you are
Potent.
selling potent.
That's it. Okay.
One.
That's one.
And two, make sure that it is authentic. I think it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Before you take it to the market, and always have a strategy.
Okay. And this applies for human beings. It applies for services, products, everything.
Exactly. So if you say you are a rapper, deliver. You say you are a musician, sing the song.
If you say you're the best rapper alive,
you have to be the best rapper alive. You know, whatever it is that your product is promising. So I call it product. Let your product be potent, because there are so many potent products that have no marketing budget, that have no branding techniques, that have no PR strategies.
And they're flying.
That still flies.
They're flying.
Yes.
So the potency is the key.
It's the key. It is more important than the gimmicks. But if you get that, and you get a good strategy and a go-to-market plan with the whole service around it to position it then you are gone. But if you are to choose one thing for marketing, develop a good product.
That's it. That should be potent, authentic. Do you teach marketing? They should be calling you to come and teach, because you've branded you've marketed your career pretty well.
Thank you.
Nobody calls you to come and teach.
They do. They do. I go to at a point I used to go to I used to go to the university behind Trade Fair.
Zenith.
I used to go to Zenith a lot. I go to Legon a lot to teach creative writing. I used to go to Unimac. I think I've taught in your class once.
Yes, indeed. I invited you. You were my guest lecturer on a marketing, something to do about marketing, and yes. That was,
exactly.
They enjoyed that class.
I do that a lot, and I love doing it. I have apart from your class, I've taught at creative writing at Unimac. Many times before you called me. And many times.
Awesome. You enjoy it.
Yes, I'm having a great time.
I can see.
Yeah.
One of your teachers is the great Ijakonimo.
Yes.
Who I met a couple of weeks ago. I was just blown away by his knowledge and his memory and everything. What did he teach you?
Hey, do you have time?
I have time, my brother. I got time.
Ejakonimo taught me everything. When I got married, I took my wife to go and sing. We call him Papa. And then he told me something. He said, let your friends say you fear your wife. Abrantie, let your friends say that you fear your wife. So I asked him why. He said that he went to play a concert in the US. He went on tour. And when he came back, his friends said they were going to drink pito or palm wine somewhere. And then he was going to go with them because they had all come back. And his wife said, cool. I've not seen you in 3 months. You have come. I've made you appreciate. I've made you kuntumre. Please stay with me. Don't go with them. So he told them, my wife wants me here. And then they said, dear, your wife has made a fool out of you. So they got in a car, drove away, and in 10 minutes, all of them died in an accident at Tech. So if they had not said he fears his wife, he would have been dead.
With them.
And I want to think that Morris's father was one of these musicians that died in that accident. Yes, I think so. I stand corrected, but I think so. So Ejakonimo didn't only introduce me to African music and sound. And I remember he always tells me that with amplification changes music.
Like making it louder.
Yes. Immediately you make it loud, you change its mood. So I shouldn't be too concerned about amplification. Rather, I should be concerned about making sure that I'm playing the music the right way. And if the musicians are talented and they are playing together as a unit, it mustn't be loud.
And I can see where he's coming from, because he played an acoustic.
Exactly.
Which doesn't need to be amplified too much.
Exactly. And he, that Ejakonimo's Dero.
Yes, his cowbell.
Yes, he plays in the key.
Okay.
I think he's the only one that plays.
He tunes
cowbell.
it,
So he has about 5 different types.
Okay.
If he's playing C sharp,
then he has a specific cowbell for it.
And so the smaller the cowbell, the higher the
This
pitch, the bigger, the lower the
pitch.
tone.
Exactly.
You know, and then his drums, he tunes his drums. So his drums are not just playing tones, high, low.
They're tuned well.
They are tuned to play like,
almost like music.
Yes.
Okay.
You know.
Did he teach you guitar too?
Yes, he taught me classical guitar.
So you play guitar?
Yes.
Where's your guitar?
That's why I don't play in public.
But we're in public. Me and you are just here. Two brothers having a chat. Me and my kid brother having a chat.
I know. So I think someone, I don't know, it's BBC or somebody, went to interview him about me. And then he said, I will play in the class and then I'll get 90. I'll come and play all the shapes, play the songs. I'm able to play the song. I'll practice. But immediately I'm done writing the exam. I put it down.
Have you used it to compose before, guitar?
Yes. Yeah. So this song, it was composed on a guitar.
Oh, nice.
Yes, with a change order. I composed the song on the guitar.
You compose on Atentebe too?
I improvise on that Atentebe. You know, I told Dan that I want to do an album built around Atentebe and the xylophone.
Yeah.
And so hopefully after I release my current album, which I'm done.
You're done recording?
I'm done recording the current album.
This is the one you did with Zap?
Yes, the one I did with Zap. Done. And last night I went to do one with Richie as well.
Okay.
Because there was no love song on it. So I asked Richie to write me a love song. So last one I went to do one. So after I release that one, I want to let people see my Atentebe side as well.
Awesome.
Yes.
Akyeame is
yes,
the best. He's the best.
I mean,
he's the best.
He's the best. I had the privilege of sitting under his feet for 2 years, and it changed my musicianship. Yeah. It changed my musicianship. Yes.
B.R.A, best rapper alive.
Yeah.
Has he gotten you into trouble before?
Oh,
we are very competitive in this town. When you say this, no, you're not the best.
I know. When I did Best Rapper Alive,
it's the name of one of your albums, right?
Yes. No, the album was called My Poetry. But I started branding myself as the best rapper alive.
Why?
Because at that time I used to compete. At that time I felt I was the best rapper alive. And I used to say that there are 3 best rappers. Myself, this cat.
I like it.
You like it,
man? Yeah. Keep talking.
Okay. Myself, Tupac, and Biggie Smalls. And they had both died.
So everybody should make their conclusion.
Exactly.
Because you're alive.
I'm alive. And, so that is how I meant it.
And it get people angry, yeah?
Exactly. And then
bloggers?
No, bloggers were happy with it because I was proving it. The product was potent.
Potent and authentic.
Exactly. So, therefore, just thought, why is he saying that? So he made a song with Guru to challenge.
Okay. Was it like a diss track?
Yes, they made a very nice diss track.
He said challenge. Beef, eh? Me, you're a vegetarian, no?
Yes, I'm vegetarian.
But then you were not.
I know, but I didn't do the beef. So people like the current provost of KNUST, that is one of the perks of going to school. So whenever you are in trouble, you get people to advise you. Yeah. So Ejakonimo told me I shouldn't
Don't respond.
Because I remember he used the example of this footballer that gave someone headings in the World Cup.
Zinedine Zidane.
He told me that
somebody insulted his mother or his sister.
Yes, that Zidane will never forget.
Yeah.
Because Zidane was an amazing player.
Yes, and they could have won that final.
Dented.
Yes, completely.
Dented
the guy's chest and dented his own reputation.
Exactly. So, based on that, Professor Asante, who was my academic teacher, the Methodist priest, Professor Asante, he told me not to reply the song. Of course, my wife said, the current pro VC, Professor Charles Marfo, Dr. Peter Arthur, who with a Jack Onimo assisted me to go to tech.
You had like 200 years of academic experience advising you not to do it.
I say everybody said, don't do it.
Don't do it. Did you do it?
I didn't do it. So I wrote the whole book of these raps. And these powers that be will not let me put it out.
Oh, you were ready to launch?
Of course, but
where is that document? I want to see it privately.
They said it will be somewhere. I think I've thrown away. And one of the decisions that I have made in my life that I'm most proud of is not doing a song to this Obrafo. Because now I can beat my chest and say I'm a forgiving human being. You know, I can beat up my chest and say I'm a gentleman. When someone insults me, I don't insult them back. You know, so that was the story of the best rapper alive.
And it didn't end there?
No, it didn't. I just kept. I even later would do a song called "The Best Rapper Alive." You know, so I didn't stop. Only that I think that the artist's ability to hold his audience is intrinsically linked to his ability to keep shocking them. So if you hold on to one promise for a while, you need to leave it alone and set a new one, and create a new sound, and create a new
marketing
style.
is coming. Marketing is coming. When the life cycle is dying,
Exactly.
you revive.
Exactly. And you create such a so you have to have your cash cow, your this one, your star, your that, you know. So
before we talk about Made in Ghana, you were bottom of the class. I mean, Samson holding up the building. Then you overcame dyslexia, got your degree, first degree, got a second degree. Is there PhD in the offing, my brother?
Yes, my brother. We are working on it now. I'm pursuing it now.
Oh, you are actually in class?
Yes, I'm pursuing
When did you start?
it now. I started this year, early this year.
Okay.
Yes, at Unimac. So my advanced research was a bit weak.
Okay.
You know, so I'm firming it up with an MPhil. That goes into
and then you go to your PhD. What do you want to study?
So
what do you want to research?
DevCom, development communication. So I'm trying to be a development communication strategist.
Okay.
And I'm looking at indigenous knowledge in forest and climate change conservation.
Okay.
So I'm looking at water bodies, rivers, land use, forests, animals, and how our foremothers use taboos and sacred rituals to keep them pure and authentic, and how postmodernity and how colonialism, postmodernity, and foreign religions like Christianity and Islam has affected and started degrading their natural resources.
You're just drawing on all the things you've experienced in your life. Your grandma's knowledge, mommy, everything.
Everything. Akan, everything. So
stay in your comfort zone.
Exactly.
And then they flourish.
Yes.
So in maybe 3-4 years time, we'll be calling.
Yes, hopefully in the next 3 years I should.
What will your title be? Because you're now rap doctor. So what is it, Dr. Rap Doctor?
So about 3 weeks ago I was in class learning philosophy. Or philosophy of research. So doing positivist, relativist, pragmatist, this one and that, axiology, big words. And the thing was going through I sent my wife a text message. Hey, when I'm done with this PhD, I don't want you to just call me Babe. I want to be called Dr. Babe.
One time. I support that message with 3 bags of cement. Dr. Babe, I like it.
I want to be called Dr. Babe. Yes.
Or Dr. Rap Doctor.
Exactly.
Doctor on both sides and then rap it in the middle.
Yes.
I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Made in Ghana. So you're not just a musician, but you have these causes that you espouse. And you did a Made in Ghana album that kind of made a big, bold tourism statement. Why did that come about?
So, you know, when Honorable Afeku,
Catherine Afeku,
yes, Catherine
former
Afeku,
tourism minister,
when she took off, she was very vibrant. That came with great ideas. So they signed tourism ambassadors. I think we're like 20 something. And then they asked us to bring ideas that the government was going to sponsor. So my idea, was that since I am a musician, how can I use music to foster or to let people become more engendered towards tourism, ecotourism? You know, so I did my strategy. And I went to give it to them, and we were to do it together. But at a point, they were slowing me down. So I went ahead. So my strategy was to do 10 songs, each one representing each region, taking from the sights and the sounds and the spirit of the people. So I'll travel to go and sit at the market and record sound and feel out the people, feel out the rhythm. And then out of that, I'll create a high life song. You know, so I did that with Bolgatanga girl with Atongo, and then I will feature one artist from
each region.
This
was before I became 16.
Exactly. So as I was doing it because I said, hey, I don't have money. People are not giving me money. Don't give me.
This was self-finance.
Yes. Okay. So I self-financed it, and then when I was done, GTA at that time,
Ghana Tourism Authority.
Yes, Mr. Ajiman, who was the CEO. Yeah. He was generous enough to support me with 30,000 cedis, not dollars. 30,000 cedis. I'm not complaining. I'm saying thank you, Mr. Ajiman, because you didn't have to shoot one video. The song I did were Wolome. You know, so he supported me. But apart from that, the whole Made in Ghana thing was built on my own steam.
What impact did that concept make?
So for the next 3 years, everything that I was doing was about it. So the clothes I wore, my social media pages, my performances around. To do lots of performances with the National Theatre dance troupe, you know, so all around the world. And
where did you go? Where?
So we went to America. We did Made in Ghana, bazaars in England. We did some in Germany, you know. So
did you go to Asia?
No, we didn't. We were planning to go to Barbados, but it didn't happen. Yes, we were planning to go to Barbados, but it didn't happen. And Made in Ghana. So out of that, Ministry of Trade made me a Made in Ghana ambassador. Commission on Art and Culture made me a Made in Ghana ambassador. Ministry of Culture had made me a Made in Ghana ambassador because of what I was doing. And I think that the real effect of it was that now people are proud to post apesi and kontomire on Instagram. So I used to have Made in Ghana food of the day. Made in Ghana, if you had a child and did a photo shoot and the child was in Kente or in Fugu, I'll post the child, Made in Ghana child of the day, Made in Ghana traditional wedding of the day. A lot of more people wanted to do the traditional wedding, so that I will post them. I did Made in Ghana business of the day.
Nice.
But my most inspiring achievement was that I met a young man at GHAMRO who had completed Legon and was selling kinky, fancy kinky. He would put it in recyclable fish nets.
Okay.
So he will go to the beach. He's thinking sustainability. And then he will sew nets that were trapped in the sea.
Yes.
And then put the kinky in it. Because after all, you throw it away anyway.
Instead of the plastic bag.
Yes. And then I thought what he was doing was amazing. So I did a video with him at GHAMRO. And then he gave me a proof. I said, mother had been selling kinky for years. And he had decided that since he's not finding a job, he's going to rebrand it and turn it into a big business. And when I posted him, that weekend, they sold over 1,000 balls.
Wow.
Of kinky. And he has a career from selling kinky
one time
and exporting it to Europe and other places.
Whoa.
Now, that is my story.
That's powerful.
Yes.
That's really powerful. Made in Ghana story.
Yes.
I like the song too.
Thank you.
Made in Ghana.
Yes. It's a very simple song. And Kiddy blessed.
Kiddy.
Yes. Kiddy blessed the chorus with that beautiful singing.
Beautiful.
And then I think
who produced that one?
It was produced by Uncle Ebo Taylor and Dan Grau.
Okay.
So all
Ebo Taylor, our veteran musician.
Yes. I mean, how else was I going to get that sound? We're going to listen to it. Go listen to the phrases. You know, those sharp intervals.
All those things.
That's
it. Guitar.
So he used the guitar, but he called the boys to
come and play those phrases.
Come and play those phrases. But the guitar is Dominic.
Yes.
Dan Grau on bass. I think is Junior on drums. Forgotten his name on drums. This guy that plays with Ambule on keyboard. So we did a nice.
You can't think that's your band. Tell Femi. Where's the band?
Oh, my band now. My band now. Where's the band? We are going. Yes, I consistently play with a high school band.
Yes.
So that's all the time.
You've got the band now?
Yes.
Femi, ask the question again.
Where's the band? I'm calling Dan Grau. That's my band leader. I call Dan Grau. Yes.
And it's not just music. It's not just causes. You're an author too. A co-author.
Yes.
So you wrote a book with your wife.
Yes, 2 books.
Yes. I don't know about the second one.
Yes, so you know the book.
I hope you lost the first one.
No, the book was 2 in 1.
Yes, 2. Yes, when you turn it from a male perspective, female perspective. So it's 2 books.
Exactly. So it's finding a lasting love relationship and maintaining a lasting love relationship. Exactly. Yes.
When did you decide to become an author? Well, you're an author already because you write songs.
Exactly. But you see, during the COVID time, a lot of people, when I started posting my children and wife on social media, my mother, uncles, they say, we don't post it in public spaces like that. this and I said, oh, I know what I'm doing. It's a calling. You know, as people preach, I thought that I could use my family setup and the love that I have for my family to inspire young people who are afraid of marriage or who were marrying in a toxic way to get an example. Because my personal philosophy when it comes to leadership is role modelism, not dominance. So okay,
show the way.
Show the way. And a lot of during COVID, a lot of people before COVID, a lot of women will be DMing my wife and asking, is it real? Is it true? Is your husband truly faithful? Does he treat you as you guys post? And then my wife will be talking to them and trying to teach them that but you also have a role to play. And then we decided that we are going to write a book so that whoever wants to learn from our little 10-year experience
just read the book.
Can just read the book.
Yeah.
So that was, so during COVID, when we had nothing, we were on lockdown. We wrote the book and we called it Love Lockdown.
And there was you dropped a song on it.
Yes, with Richie.
Yeah, with Richie,
and
exactly.
Adina. I love that song.
Did you I hear this when you write a book. Hey, but do Ghanaians read? Do Africans read? Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Did you believe that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I read.
Yeah, of course, you're in Africa.
Yes. I'm currently reading Sidney Poitier's The Measure of a Man. And I'm having an amazing time. I read every day. I read 2 hours.
What do you tell people who don't have time to read? Where do you squeeze time to read? Because you're a busy person.
Yes, I read. So I go everywhere with a book. And
are you some of those people who have books inside their toilet, in the bathroom, so that while you're sitting on the throne, then you're also reading?
No, I don't. The throne is such a spiritual moment.
That you should be reading.
I don't want Sidney Poitier talking to me.
While you're doing your thing.
That is the moment. That is my moment.
Yeah, that's the only place in the house that you're alone.
Exactly. That is my moment. So I read, like sometimes when I'm going to a place and I'm waiting for the CEO to have a conversation. I read 2 pages.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm in the house, I don't want to talk to anyone. No one likes the hall. We have a very nice hall at the house. I just go and sit somewhere in a nice corner and read.
Yeah.
And so I just, anytime I have an opportunity, I read. Now I'm working on my thesis. So I don't get to, but I'm reading. I'm reading.
Yeah.
I'm reading
books.
Books for the literature review. And I thought that my study was nouveau. I thought I was going to write something that has not been...
People have written.
Thousands! People have already flooded.
People have written.
Yes, on indigenous knowledge and TEK and traditional ecological knowledge. I mean, people have written and come up with frameworks.
Good. So you just build on it.
So yes, I'm reading, and the more I read, the more I realize I should read.
You should read more. In your quiet moments, do you look back and think to your primary school days and JHS days when, man, you could not read? And is that something that you're grateful for, that, man, reading has opened like a whole portal into a world?
Reading has changed my life, man, beginning with Lord Marcus. And I'm always grateful to Lord Marcus for teasing it out of me.
Is he still alive?
Yes, Lord Marcus is alive. He's not. He's about your age.
Okay.
Lord Marcus is alive. Oh yes, I know how old I am. I know how old you are. Why wouldn't I know how old you are? You and I have been friends for such a long time.
So the reading has just opened.
It just opened up everything. Sometimes when I travel, when I'm speaking at climate change, climate change conferences, or when I'm speaking at hepatitis conferences, whatever, and they mention that he's an author, it changes the room.
It does. There's something about being an author that changes the way people look at you.
Yes, it changes the room.
It makes you feel proud.
Yes.
That you've done something.
Yes.
That will outlive you after you're gone.
Yes.
The books will still be there.
Yes.
So you just mentioned hepatitis, and I know you've been an ambassador for so many brands. I can remember off the top of my head, hepatitis B. Were you a TVET ambassador as well?
Yes, I was.
Were you Earthshot?
Earthshot.
What was Earthshot about? What was Earthshot about?
So the Prince of Wales.
Okay.
Yeah, every year he puts maybe $15 million.
The son of the king now?
Yes.
Okay.
He puts $50 million in climate change innovation. His idea is to get people to create alternative products and climate smart practices, climate smart farming and recycling and upcycling, to put money in it so that young people will be excited about going into climate change innovation. So I was fortunate enough to be an ambassador for the Earthshot Prize. And so I work with, that's why I got the opportunity to meet him last year. And
what's he like?
It's an amazing guy. He speaks well. He has no airs. He just has 15 million pounds to give away that day.
Who spent my money?
Yes. You know, he's creative. He has ideas. He's passionate.
And he's a future king.
Yes. He's passionate and he's very humble. Took time. He took pictures with all of us. He sat down. We're in an intimate room and we had an amazing conversation. Shared his dream.
Where did you guys meet?
So we met in
England?
No, in Cape Town.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Yes. So I think it's this last year. Last year during the Earthshot Prize, where a Ghanaian won £1 million.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was there. We were all together.
Nice.
We're all together with him, and we are still working. They just sent an email that the next Earthshot Prize is happening in, I think, Brazil or something, and that they want me to come. But
I've been to Brazil before.
No, not yet.
Would you like to go?
I would love to go, but I have schoolwork.
Oh.
I have schoolwork.
Yeah, priorities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I told them that I will not be able to, but it's amazing. It's amazing. I think that out of all the ambassadorial, so from GT Bank to MTN to Coca-Cola, Ministry of Trade, out of all of that, the thing that I'm most passionate about now is climate change.
Why?
Because I think it's the most important conversation. And it's not one of those problems that do not have solutions. Even though it gives us a deadline, it is also a lifeline. If we can change the way we have done business over the years, if we can change our ideology on what is on our plates, if we can change our concept of what love is, if we can begin to understand that there's a symbiotic relationship between nature and us, and we must not dominate it, we need to adapt. If we begin to see ourselves as a part of nature and not above it, we'll be able to solve this problem and leave the world as a better place. And for what God has given me the opportunity to become, I am most grateful that I have the knowledge, I have the language, and I have the experience and a platform to be able to share this area, because it is an area that a lot of people are not interested in, including Trump.
Yeah.
You know, so and what I have come to know is that the UN puts this global warming conversation in 3 blocks, the problems. So it's either over-industrialization, fossil fuel mining, the mining of negative energy, as we put it in the conversation, so coal, fossil fuel, and land use. So for land use, we are using the land to farm, so climate smart farming practices, and keeping the soil and not cutting the trees, so that the biodiversity in the soil, and livestock farming. So livestock farming alone is causing about 18% of all carbon emissions through methane from cows and the clearing of trees and all that. And so I am thinking that the lowest hanging fruit for us to solve the global warming problem is for all of us to cut down on our meat in eating, or in my case, just stop eating it at all.
And you have not been eating. When was the last time you ate chicken?
Oh, hey, it may be in the last 6 years or 5.
What do you replace the meat with? What are your alternatives to meat?
So I eat a lot of soy. I eat tempeh. Tempeh is tofu, which is in a fermenting process.
What is tofu made of?
Tofu is made of soy.
Okay.
Beans.
Okay.
That is processed just with water and grinding, and then it's solidified, and you can cut it and turn it into eggs or very high quality protein and great for your health.
Okay.
You know, so I eat that. I eat something called seitan, which is made of wheat, very high in protein.
Okay.
I eat mushrooms.
Yeah. Love mushrooms.
I love all types
fruits,
of
vegetables.
I eat lots of fruits and vegetables.
Favorite fruit.
Mango. I love mangoes.
Yeah. Favorite vegetable.
All of them. I eat
of them.
all the cruciferous vegetables,
Okay.
the broccoli, all of them. I eat them daily.
Did I see a video of you juicing them somewhere?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw some juicing.
Yes, I
yeah.
do. I do it on the weekends. I do a light detox on the weekends. I juice because I was so developed on fufu and in remunam, eating
Bushmeat and fufu.
exactly eating vegetables is a little difficult for me and bush. So sometimes I just want to juice it and add small coconut water and just
So
drink
you
it.
still have your fufu?
Yes, I do.
With
fufu.
what?
With
Mushrooms.
Yes, with mushrooms and prekese. And my wife knows how to turn soy into amazing meat. She can make it taste just like meat. So she seasons it overnight and then she air fries it, and then she can. It's beautiful.
You are the grandson of a hunter.
Yes.
Is it not ironic that you're not eating meat anymore?
I know. So it is ironic, but that is the beauty of evolution. Is that man must get to a point where he realizes that these actions no longer serve my purpose. Therefore, I give it up. And whenever we say these things, people come back with the back to nature fallacy that our forefathers eat like this. How dare you? So out of all the things that I've done advocacy for, climate change and this cut down on eating on meat production is the most difficult. Sometimes I post.
Yeah, I see a lot of back and forth on Facebook.
On Sundays, and
Sundays.
they say, we
won't eat. We can't give up meat.
Are you wiser than God? Are you this? Are you that?
Are they saying God instructed them to eat meat?
Yeah, they say that the Bible, God instructs people to eat meat in the Bible. Even though his original plan,
it was all about food. So
in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29.
Exactly.
But since Genesis chapter 9, verse 3 allows the eating of some kinds of meat, which is after the flood.
Yes.
Human beings are waiting for God to come back with
another flood.
verse to say that I gave you a Mercedes Benz. It crashed. So now you and your children are on a bike. It's dangerous. But now that you have your Benz back, you are waiting for God to come and say, get off the bike and get back into the Benz. You know, so human beings are waiting for God, for our morals, for our ethics. And I think that is not the way. If we keep doing things the way our foremothers did it, we will destroy this whole.
Talking about God, I mean, what's your concept of God?
My concept of God is my concept of God is that it's a visible universe. Everything in this universe is God. You, flowers, cows, lizards, snakes, mosquitoes, Saturn, sun, moon, all that is the visible God. The invisible energy behind it, force behind it, is also God. So when I say God, I mean it in the physical sense, which is the visible universe.
What we can see.
And the metaphysical sense, which is the energy behind it. But I do not know some of the claims that people make that invisible thing created human beings and will come back one day to burn people. To that one, I don't know. What I know to be God is the net consciousness of everything in the universe working in union.
You must have interesting conversations with Christians and Muslims.
Oh, I do. Sometimes.
What is the most interesting back and forth you've had on this concept of God?
The most interesting thing is that religious people know what they have been told to be the right thing. And atheists also know what they think to be the right thing. And out of the religious people, the Methodists know that they are righter than the Assemblies of God. The Assemblies of God know they are righter than the Jehovah's Witnesses. The Jehovah's Witnesses know they are righter than the Muslims. Inside the Muslims, the Sunni and the Shia know they are righter than each other. Everybody is fortunate enough to be born in a culture, in a geography, with a heritage that has the best God. And still, people fight over the identity of God. That is the most interesting thing to me.
And we're recording this on the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this particular day?
I think as an African, the best prayer is dance. So I have 2 children. If one of them comes to me every day and is asking for things. Give me water, give me a baby, give me a car, give me a house. And one of them just, I see them, he doesn't come to me for anything. But every time he's dancing, which one of these children will I be happy with? There's a reason why all civilizations dance. And that to me is the best form of prayer. Because dance, I have never danced when I have a worry. Because even when I'm worried, immediately I start dancing and I'm focused on the rhythm that is moving me. I have that one thought that all my cells are happy. And if I am God, I will be happy with my children who are happy. So for me, if we are celebrating a national day for prayer, I think it should be a dance festival.
What kind of music will we be listening to?
Any form of music. Instrumentals, Shatawale's music, gospel music, Buddhist music, frequency, Muslim chants, poems, drums, the dance to the wind blowing through the trees. Just dance. Even if you can't move in your head, whenever I'm praying, I am dancing. Because if I were God, that is what I want my kids to do.
Instead of give, as they should dance.
They should dance.
If you had to fill up a form and they say denomination, what would you put there?
Denomination. I'll be honest, I have a Christian trained conscience.
From grandma?
From grandma and mother and father. But if I'm filling a form and it says denomination, I will put humanist.
Which means
I take from the good in every single religion that I am exposed to. So like you are making an omelette. So I take forgiveness of sins 77 times from Christianity. I take the respect for God and the universe from the Islams, reverend, from the Islamic, Muslims, from the Muslims. I take reverence for animals, kindness to all things, including insects. I take that from the Buddhists. Yeah. I take respect for nature from animism, African traditional religion. I take non-violence and ahimsa from Sikhism. I take from every single religion that I have read about. I take the things in it that sit well with the underpinning philosophy, my underpinning philosophy as a utilitarian, which means every single action that I'm causing must bring happiness to all involved and the least amount of harm to all involved. So I take from every single test, every single culture, every single religion that I'm used to, the good side. But the sides that bring separation, I reject. The sides that says Methodist people cannot marry Saturday people, I reject. The side that allows you to go and kill non-believers because they are kafir, I reject. So
all the stuff that is negative, you reject.
So that, yes, all the side that allows priests to pray over a bomb as it goes to kill children in Gaza, all that, Zionism, all that I reject. I just take from the part of the Bible that Jesus Christ says, and you are God. And when Jesus Christ says that if you didn't do it for Kafui, you didn't do it for me, those things, I take all of it. But the side that just is about control, division, and that doesn't foster oneness, I reject.
Do you believe in heaven and hell?
Yes, it's right here.
It's right here.
It's right here.
So when you close your eyes and you're gone, what will happen? What do you think will be on the other side?
The same place I used to be before I came here. I don't know. I think it's just arrogant.
To think that you know.
To think that I know where I'm going. The only thing I know is that if I should die right now, people who love me will cry.
Definitely.
That's one I know.
And those who hated you will say, good riddance.
Exactly. But wherever I am going, I don't know. Maybe on my journey to old age, I might know if I'm fortunate enough to live that long. But currently, I don't know where I came from. I don't know where I'm going. And I don't make it my problem. Let me tell you a Buddha story. Someone went to Buddha and asked him, tell me about God. You know, Buddhism is about identifying suffering and elevating yourself above it. So he asked the person, when you are running through a forest and someone throws a spear and it hurts you, are you going to stop to find out who threw the spear? What angle of incidence? Why did he throw it? What was their source? Or you are going to run to the nearest village to seek help?
I'm going to dodge that damn spear.
Exactly. Exactly. So that is where I am right now. I recognize that there's suffering in the world. And I also recognize that if I can live with a mindful, if I can live mindfully to understand that I'm living on this earth with other people and other species, and if I don't cause them pain, maybe nothing will cause me pain. Then I am living a fulfilled life. But as to where I came from, where I'm going, I don't know.
Briefly before we go, let's talk about daddyhood, being a father. What does that mean to you?
It's a learning experience. It is a learning experience. To be honest, I remember the first time I saw my son pick something from the floor. He was maybe 1.5. When after he had started walking, he picked it like this. And then I remember that every time I'm picking something from, I pick like this, and I'm disturbing my spine. This child who had not been socialized, he had not been taught the wrong ways of the society.
He did the right thing.
He did the right thing. So from that day, I opened my eyes. So whenever my children do something that is wrong, instead of considering it to be wrong, I try to understand why they did it. And I try to accord them the same respect I accord myself, to find out. So instead of beating and shouting and scolding, my fatherhood style is dialogue, laissez-faire. But the underlying philosophy of my fatherhood style, 2 words: friendly but firm. Yes.
So what does discipline mean to Okyeame Kwame with respect to your children?
Oh, I take the laptop. So we have, on weekends, there's something that we do in my bedroom where we watch movies. We do a movie night. So if you are disrespectful or you are not invited.
You withdraw.
Yes.
You withdraw the privileges.
Yes. Or I take your laptop, or I give you a long talk. Or my father said this, my father said, until your head hurts, you know. Or so discipline is just having a conversation with you, or taking something dear from you, so that the next time you think you don't want to lose it. It's sort of the same idea of beating you, so that you feel the pain, positive or negative reinforcement.
Exactly.
But I don't think that is the right way to treat any human being or an animal, because my philosophy is ahimsa. So
do no harm.
Yes. So I take something away from you, so that you realize that, okay, my father didn't like this and I've done.
You sometimes look at your kids and wonder, wow, it wasn't too long ago that I could hold them like this, and now you're probably looking up at your children and they're turning into man and woman, and it's amazing.
It is beautiful. It is such a beautiful thing to watch, you know. Like my son just graduated from high school, and I was there. I almost cried. That just not too long ago we used to call him Ba Se, but we used to carry him and feed him, you know. And there's something that we used to call a blue blue. So I'll put him in my hand and I'll do this, a blue blue, a blue blue.
And now you see the guy.
Yes, now he's a big guy, you know. So, and now he's a big guy, and sometimes when I have conversations with him, he's teaching me.
Mature.
Yes, he's mature. He knows a lot about logic. And my daughter, she doesn't have many words, but she's intelligent. She's focused, you know. So it's a beautiful thing. I've just been blessed. And what I see is that they just came through me. So I don't guard them too much. I just guide them, knowing that I could be wrong even in my approach. And so it's just a consistent reevaluation of my actions and evaluation, and getting feedback from them to find out if we are both on the right path. My key strategy is just to make sure that they both have 3 things. They have an applicable skill for money in the future. They are kind, and they know how to relate with their environment. So if I'm able to do these 3 things, I think the universe will take over.
And finally, what's the legacy that you want your kids and anybody who knows you to remember long after that one mic is put down.
drops.
When it's mic drop.
When
do
it's
you want
mic
people
drop.
Yes. When do you want people to remember?
I want to be remembered, if anyone cares to remember me, as that man that lived his life based on love, authenticity, and a conviction that he was throwing positive energy in the world. Love, authenticity, and that whatever it is that I'm doing today, it is honest, and I'm doing it because I want this world to be a better place. That's how. But you don't have to remember me, because I am having an amazing time doing it.
And I've had an amazing time chatting with you, man. There's so much I didn't know about you that I've just scratched the surface of, and I'm really, really grateful for this time. Time has long gone, but
Yes.
it felt like we've just been speaking for the past 20 minutes.
Yes.
But I thank you so much.
I thank you, big bro. Thank you very much for everything you have done in my life.
I wish you success, man.
Thank you. Same here.
For now, we're dropping the mic, but it's not permanently.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed the conversation with Okyeame Kwame. Tell us what you like in the comments below, and let's keep the conversations flowing. My name is Kafui Dey. God bless.